potela.
Patie mandazi nikauze.
Uli, mandazi iko wapi?
Wewe.
Hii ni 10. Na iko na nyama ndani.
Hapa food polite manzi. Hapa na unatuma mambo yenyu tu hapa hivi iko polite manzi. Marada hapa.
Malandazi alitoka na last government.
Ati nikanje food 390. Hii nijikute nijichune.
Finally. Kuji.
Kwenda toka hapa. Kwenda kabisa.
Ndio nitapotea maji.
Wewe, hebu simama hapa. Ngoja nikushike.
It's a neurological condition that affects muscle tone, movement and coordination.
Smile for neurodiversity. Tunashukuru sana wa donors kwa kutupatia hizi sewing machines kwa sababu sasa unaona ukiwa na sewing machine you are empowered. Hiyo ni kitu utafanya na mtoto wako akiwa hapo. Si kama kwenye uko job unaenda unatembea unakuja. Hiyo ni kitu utashona, utakaa hapo na mtoto wako.
I think it's really to call on the church to exercise practical ministry, look at the community around us and see what are the practical needs, what can we do differently.
Technology has become a crucial part of our society. Without technological advancements, so much of our everyday lives would be drastically different. As technology develops, it strives to fulfill the changing needs of society. This means that technology exists to help us achieve the things that we wouldn't be able to achieve without it. Take on Tech looks at the advantages and downside of technological innovation in a world that is becoming increasingly dependent on new digital technologies. Every Monday at 10:30 p.m.
Wellness is important in our daily lives, so that instead of just surviving, we should be thriving.
Ways to prevent a stroke or heart attack is for you to know what conditions you have. By regular checkup, people don't know they have hypertension, they don't know they have diabetes.
I was pre-diabetic. I was afraid of getting lifestyle diseases because I come from a family that has lifestyle diseases.
How do you know if your cough is due to a serious condition? We'll have some answers. Stay well
and strive to make every day a healthy day.
Good morning. Welcome to Good Morning Kenya. Colleagues, when I was just walking in along the corridors, I met a black cat.
A black?
A black cat. I think it's one from the cafeteria. You've all seen it?
No.
Nah.
You've all seen a black cat?
No.
No, just along the corridors from the main entrance coming toward this side.
It's actually the first time I'm hearing you mention a black cat.
Really?
Yes.
What does it mean, Vivian, when you meet a black cat on your way?
There's no meaning. I mean, why are you being superstitious? It's just a cat that's black in color.
It has nothing to do with...
nothing to do with nothing.
It's just a black cat.
I almost went back home.
Really? It felt like it was bad omen.
I almost went back home. Marie, from where we come from, we know something of that kind, right? Black cat.
That's where we come from, I think. Yeah. It's like it's an or it's like people thing.
Superstition.
In the West, they think like a black cat is like a bad omen.
Right.
But black is power.
Black is power.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you assure me I'm okay? I'm safe?
You're 100%.
You're very safe.
Okay.
Unless
so,
you decide otherwise.
No. So what you're listening on right now is the echoes of Good Morning Kenya coming to you live from KBC Channel 1. This is Good Morning Kenya. Karibu sana. It is 14th day of April 2025. It was an eventful week and weekend. I will tell you why. why it was an eventful week and weekend. Just quickly, at the top of the hour, that's at 7, we'll be talking about politics today. Dr. Naftali Nyamongo, who is a certified professional mediator and governance expert, will be in studio. Alves Mundalu, who is a communications expert and National Youth Chair, Jubilee Party, will also be in here. Mark Ndingo, governance expert and political analyst. And finally, Bishop James Mbugua, leadership expert and commentator, will be in studio. Let's talk about politics of unity, all right? Politics of unity. I really want us to understand what it's all about and what it means to the country today. So let's talk about that at the top of the hour. Vivian, good morning. All right, Mike, yes, we are here. Is it telepathy, something?
Yeah, you see, we're all in this color.
Yes.
It's telepathy. It works.
It works.
Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Kenya. My name is Mike Miguel. A lot is in store for you today. We are going to talk about the affordable housing program. What is the progress? What something to do with affordable housing, home ownership journey. What is it like? Those are some of the things that we are going to look at. I'll be speaking to Ms. Sheila Waweru, who is the acting CEO Affordable Housing Board. That is a conversation that will be coming to you right here on Good Morning Kenya. Remember, you can be part of every conversation that happens on this program. You can talk to us through our social media platforms. We are at KBC Channel 1 on all our social media platforms. Good morning, Vivian.
Good morning, Mike. It is the 14th day of April, and we are more than glad that you have started off your morning right here with us on Good Morning Kenya. Now, today's conversation on Family Check, as is the usual, we bring you really interesting conversations. Today is no different, as we will be talking matters love. And the question we are asking is, would you marry the person that you love, or would you rather marry the one that loves you? Have you gotten that? Do you marry the one that you love or the one that loves you? That should be a good one. And remember, you can get to join in on the conversation. Our lines will be open. That is 0716 103 301. 0716 103 301. At exactly 8:30 a.m. I will be here together with my panelists. That is Duncan Juma, who is a life coach. We'll also be having Pastor Paul Blessing, who's the director, Star with Paul, Nelly Mutai, who is a multimedia creative and actress, as well as Jane Kimari. She is a counseling psychologist. You want to tune in, stay with us, and at exactly 8:30 a.m. we'll be talking about that conversation. Marie, good morning, and may I ask you that very same question, just to get to hear your opinion. Would you rather the one that loves you or the one that you love?
You cannot be unequally yoked. It has to be both ways.
I think you should go with the love nature.
You shouldn't be, because yeah. if I marry the one that I love but they don't love me, then we are unequally yoked. So we need to be in sync. But the big question, Vivian, for me is, what is love?
What is love?
What is love?
Love is action.
It is action.
Love is amorphous. It doesn't have color, texture.
Exactly.
It transcends feeling.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, but most of the time it's about the feelings more than the action.
Yeah.
But if you ask yourself, if you feel that someone else loves you, why do they love you? It's because of the actions that they do. So if you act right, then the love comes. Yeah. If you act wrong, then that is how you diminish it. So that is a very big question that a lot of people, I can say even in relationships, don't really think about. But love is action.
Yeah.
It is not the feelings. The feelings can not necessarily fade, but you still love someone even if you don't feel the butterflies for the first time when you meet them. But it is action. How you act is what keeps the relationship going. But away from that, make sure you tune in to learn more with Vivian and her guests in as far as, relationships are concerned. But calls for political tolerance resonate in various places of worship as Christian faithful join the world in marking the last Sunday before Easter. And President William Ruto dismisses his critics who have accused him of reneging on his pre-election pledges. And later on, a family in Ruiru is in distress after the body of a kin is detained at the Kenyatta University Referral Hospital over an unpaid 1.7 million shillings. Details coming up in just a short while, but let's begin with our first story, where Christians faithful across the country thronged to their respective churches to celebrate Palm Sunday, which paves the way for the start of the Holy Week. In the Christian calendar, the global annual observance was marked with vibrant processions as faithful waved palm branches in symbolic reenactment of Jesus Christ's triumphant entry into Jerusalem. And as John Kahiro now reports, religious leaders took the opportunity to rally Kenyans to embrace peace and national unity.
At the Holy Family Basilica in Nairobi, the vibrant procession began at the Catholic parochial school, with the clergy members blessing the palm branches as a symbol of victory and peace by the Christian traditions. The Catholic faithful would then embark on a colorful procession, waving palm branches and chanting hosannas ahead of a holy Eucharistic celebration. This symbolizes the reenactment of Jesus Christ's triumphant entry into Jerusalem and his welcoming as a king. Speaking during the homily, the presiding priest, Father Simon Mwangi, rallied the congregation to stay firm in faith as they face various life tribulations.
When we suffer, when we undergo challenges, it's not a burden. Or don't take challenges or sufferings as a burden, but simply take them as a cross.
I believe it will be a blessing for all of us, and especially for us believers who are Catholics. And I urge all the Catholics to matilia maanani hii wiki.
Similar sentiments took center stage at the All Saints Cathedral, with the ACK Archbishop Jackson Ole Sapit calling for a political tone down in the country.
In that breath, we are reminded of the happenings of last week, when, even this week, when our young daughters of Butere girls high school were denied an opportunity or were intimidated, and they were not able to perform in the drama festivals, and the tear gas that was hurled against them is actually unnatural. Those are young talents and young girls. They were not armed. We needed to handle them as our children.
And in Kakamega County, faithful from St. Joseph Catholic Church also observed the day with a procession in Kakamega town. Kakamega and Vihiga Diocese Bishop Joseph Obanya called on politicians to avoid polarizing the country along ethnic lines.
Using young people or children to pass our political points is wrong.
In Kiambu County, faithful from St. Anne and Joachim Dumberi Outstation of Riara Parish too commemorated the annual observance, which marks the end of the Lent season with a vibrant procession to celebrate the Palm Sunday.
Of course, we wish all our Christian faithful a happy Easter, even as they mark the Holy Week. President William Ruto has dismissed his critics who have accused him of reneging on his pre-election pledges, saying he would prove naysayers wrong. The head of state says his administration has spent the last 2 years trying to steady the economy and is now ready to roll out the implementation of the remaining bits of his pre-election pledges.
In Elgeyo Marakwet County, for an interdenominational prayer service, President William Ruto sought to respond to his critics over his pre-election pledges. The president says he's all hands on deck and will prove his critics wrong.
Naona kuna watu wako na wasiwasi. Wale wanasema hiyo amesema ni uongo, hiyo amesema. Mimi nataka niwaeleze. Hawa watu wanaosema ati yale tunasema haitafanyika, tutawaaibisha. In a very short while, tutawashangaza. Kwa sababu hii maneno yote, we are going to make sure that we acquit ourselves of every commitment we have made. na mimi si wazimu. I know what I'm doing.
Despite what he terms as concerted efforts to derail implementation of reforms in key sectors, the president says with the economy having stabilized, the reforms he has instituted are beginning to bear fruit.
Sasa nafikiri kwa kiasi kikubwa tumedhibiti uchumi wa Kenya, na ndio sababu the last 2 weeks tumelipa contractors shilingi bilioni 60 Kenya mzima, kwa sababu macontractors wengi walikuwa wametoka barabarani kwa sababu ya kukosa pesa, kwa sababu uchumi yetu ilikuwa kidogo hafifu.
President wetu amefanya bidii, na hiyo bidii tunaiona kwa mambo mingi.
Wakati Kibaki alikuwa president 2002, 2007, 2005 alifanya referendum, he lost. Kwa sababu watu walifika kelele afanye kazi, sijui afanye nini. After 10 years kuwa president, kila mtu anasema saa Kibaki alikuwa president mzuri.
Part of those reforms, according to the president, are the access to universal health care through the Social Health Authority.
Katika kujisajili kwa mpango huu wa Taifa Care, musisikize wale wanaendesha propaganda. Kuna magavana wengine na watu wengine wanaendesha tu propaganda. Oh, SHA ifanye kazi, sijui nini. Nyinyi, you know what you're doing. Huyu gavana na county ya hapa, they know what is going on. So, wale wengine wataamuka siku ingine. For you, songa mbele.
Ruto says the government is keen on supporting farmers through its subsidized fertilizer program during the ongoing planting season to increase yields and inch closer to attaining food security for all Kenyans.
Bidii yenu kama wakulima imeonekana wazi kwamba mwaka huu tumepunguza kwa kiasi kikubwa ile mahindi tunaagiza ya kuzalisha ama ya kulisha wa Kenya.
Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki now says that the government will not allow leaders to jeopardize national stability for political gain. Speaking in Kilgoris, that is in Narok County, during an interdenominational Thanksgiving prayer, Kindiki stated that unity will take precedence, arguing that political intolerance will impede development and economic growth. As Abdiaziz Hashim now reports, the second-in-command took a swipe at his predecessor, noting that his work is to aid the appointing authority and not to challenge the head of state.
Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki, in the company of leaders from the Mar region, were in Kilgoris, Narok County, for spiritual nourishment on Sunday. The second-in-command used the occasion to address leaders whom he accused of peddling divisive politics.
The roads we are building, the electricity we are connecting, the jobs we are trying to get our young people, all those things can be undermined if our national unity, national stability, and national peace is compromised.
Mambo yao imeenda kombo na wameenda vile wameenda. Na hata wakienda vile wameenda, unaona bado wanaeneza ukabila.
Sisi tungependa tuwe Kenya ambaye iko huru bila ukabila.
The DP emphasized that constructive criticism against the administration will be considered, but not at the expense of political gains.
Na kama ni maoni mazuri, yatajumuishwa katika ujenzi ya taifa letu. Lakini hakuna mmoja wetu ako na ruhusa ati kwa sababu ako na maoni tofauti kusambaratisha amani na utulivu wa kitaifa.
While urging the residents to give a deaf ear to this section of politicians, DP Kindiki noted that the broad-based government has ensured inclusivity.
Na ndio unaona mambo ya kuchochea wananchi imeenda chini, kwa sababu hata wale ambao walikuwa wapinzani sasa hivi wanasukuma gurudumu la kuendelea na mambo ya wananchi, kwa sababu mambo ya viongozi itakuja baadaye siku ya uchaguzi.
He at the same time took a swipe at his predecessor.
Kuna wengine walipewa kazi kawashinda. Sasa unaenda kushindana na mkubwa, na unajua lazima kuwe na mkubwa mmoja at a time. Ama namna gani? Kuna shida hapo. See, there must be only one person at a time.
Wewe umeenda umeshika sasa kiti cha deputy president na unamsaidia Mheshimiwa Ruto kabisa.
Sisi kama governors ya UDA na Kenya Kwanza na kwa Kenya mzima tumesema tukushikilie ili uweze kusaidia rais wetu aweze kuendesha Kenya yetu.
And a section of politicians have faulted the decision by some churches to deny them an opportunity to address the church congregation. Speaking after attending a church service at PCA Gathaithi Church in Githunguri, where they were denied audience, the political leaders led by Kiambu woman representative Anne Wamuratha urged religious leaders to rethink their decision. This even as Steward Revival Pentecostal Church Bishop Samuel Njiriri called for respect of places of worship, saying they should not be used by politicians to advance their agendas. Timothy Kipnusu has that story.
The decision by a section of religious leaders to deny politicians a chance to address congregants in various parts of the country appears to be receiving a pushback from a section of members of the political class. Kiambu County Woman Representative Anne Wamuratha says the decision is ill-informed, urging the religious leaders to rethink the move.
Sisi wote ni watu wa kanisa. Na kwa hivyo mchungaji, jambo moja hata sisi tunakubaliana na wewe. Kuna wakati mambo yanaendanga yanakuwa overboard. Inakuwa imezidi zaidi, lakini sasa sisi tumejua ni lazima tuheshimu kanisa.
Jesus has come to our church today.
In a rejoinder, Stewards Revival Pentecostal Church Bishop Samuel Njiriri said places of worship need to be respected and not to be used to advance political interests.
Hata kama tunaruhusu politician because wengine ni washirika wetu, ni vizuri wale ambao tunaongoza tunaonyesha mahali patakatifu paheshimiwe. Kuna vita zingine na maneno mengine hayastahili, especially kwa madhabahu.
Tunawapenda, but the atmosphere these days is very bad. Mnaweza mkasema jambo mkaona watu wanatokea huko tujue waje na hatutaki.
Mimi mwenyewe nimeleta shilingi bilioni 2.
During the church service at PCA Gathaithi, the debate on hefty donations to churches was revisited, with a section of leaders reading from different scripts.
Kenya inatumika kama center ya wizi wa gold ambazo zinauzwa, zinatoa hiyo pesa ambayo ni pesa chafu, inaitwa money laundering.
Najua nimesikia mwingine hapo nje anasema ati sisi ni watu wa money laundering sijui nini. Hiyo ni yake. Ile mtu tunasafu ni Mwenyezi Mungu. Si ni kweli? Ukitoa unatolea nani? Mwenyezi Mungu.
The recent cases of violence witnessed in places of worship, including a bizarre case of a preacher assaulting a member of his church, has also been condemned.
Wanafunzi na ni wanafunzi wa Yesu. Si Yesu aliwakuta wamelala? Mara ngapi? Akikuta wamelala anafanya nini? Anawaamsha pole pole. Anawaambia mfanye nini? Amkeni.
The youth have also been urged to be wary of politicians who want to use them to advance their selfish interests.
Vijana wetu msiruhusu the politician kuwabeba na pewa pesa kidogo ya kwenda pengine kuharibu amani ama kuharibu mikutano ya wengine.
Nasikia uchungu sana kama hawa watoto wakipelekwa kule alafu wanapigwa tear gas. Na kweli kuna kuwa siasa mbaya, mambo mabaya.
Sisi wazazi ndio tunakaa na hawa watoto, tunawachunga. Wakati wengine wanasoma, wale wameumia wanaachwa nyumbani na wanarudishwa nyuma.
And away from politics, a family in Ruiru, Kiambu County, is at a loss following the detention of the body of their kin at the Kenyatta University Referral Hospital over unpaid bills that keep increasing. Kale Bonyango, 40 years old, is reported to have succumbed after a short illness while receiving treatment at the hospital. The family now says it needs 1.7 million shillings to offset the hospital bill and give their kin a proper send-off.
With the tears cascading down her cheeks, Janet Barasa, mother of two and the wife to the deceased Kale Bonyango, narrates the agony the family has been going through after they lost their loved one. Her 40-year-old husband died after a short illness on 25th March 2025 while receiving treatment at Kenyatta University Referral Hospital.
Tuliingia ward Januari tarehe 1, tukakaa huko mpaka March 25 mwezi wa 3 hii. Aliaga tarehe hiyo 25. Kwa saa hii ako kwa mochari hapo referral. Mwili imeshikwa kwa sababu ya bili kubwa ya hospitali.
Shindwa na bili ni kubwa, tumekataa kupewa mili sababu bili ni kubwa. Anasema tutengeneze hiyo bili kwanza ndio tuchukue mwili yetu, ni yenyewe sisi yenyewe hatuna uwezo.
She says his treatment amounted to 2 million shillings. However, 300,000 shillings was covered by the Social Health Authority, leaving a balance of 1.7 million shillings that the family could not raise alongside the mortuary fee, which continues to accrue.
Ya hospitali ilikuja 2,000,000 na saa kalipa 1,300. Sasa tumebaki na 1.7 na sisi hatuna uwezo.
Nataka tu mnisaidie. Pesa yenye inastahili huko ni mingi, 2,000,000 na hata sisi wenyewe hatuna hata shamba huko nyumbani.
To help fast-track the release of their kin's body for burial, the family conducted numerous fundraising events to no avail.
Changamoto yenye tumepitia ni vile tu hakuna pesa, hata hapa tukisanya hakuna.
Walikuwa wanahitaji 75% ya ile bill iweze kulipwa ndio waweze kurelease hiyo mwili. Kwa hivyo mama ameachwa na watoto 2 ambapo mwenyewe ndio alikuwa breadwinner ya hii nyumba. So far hakuna mahali popote ambapo hiyo pesa inaweza kutolewa ndio mwili iweze kwenda kuzikwa.
The family has now turned to well-wishers for help. For financial aid, you can reach the family through Millicent Adhiambo Apondo. Phone number is 011-6597-674 or till number 3413-056.
Let's look at sports now, where Lions men's handball team continued with their winning streak after a 34-22 victory over Young City in an entertaining Kenya Handball League match played at the Kaloleni Handball Court here in Nairobi. Now, Philip Loko gave Lions an early lead after netting 3 goals, as Joseph Maina, Paul Mwinga and Dennis Sakwa were also on the score sheet to give Lions a deserved 2013 first-half lead. In the second half, Young City attempted to come back were fruitless, with Lions holding on to clinch 34-22 victory. Following the win, Lions are 8th on the men's Premier League table on 22 points, while Young City remains 24th on the 6 points. In another result, Kenya University ladies team beat Amazon 26-8 in the ladies league match played at the same venue. Well, that report brings us to the end of the news this morning. Thank you so much, as always, for keeping us company and for starting your day with us here on Good Morning Kenya. Remember, Good Morning Kenya still continues. My colleague Victor Lo is on standby. He'll be bringing you all matters politics. On that note, I want to end the news right there, but first, let's get the weather forecast.
you a talented artist? Or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't worry, Studio Machinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with our music and video producers across the country. Work on your music, jingles, spoken words, and even podcasts to realize your dream. All for free. Studio Machinani, Radani Talent.
Wellness is important in our daily lives so that instead of just surviving, we should be thriving.
Ways to prevent a stroke or heart attack is for you to know what conditions you have by regular checkup. People don't know they have hypertension. People they don't know they have diabetes.
I was pre-diabetic. I was afraid of getting lifestyle diseases because I come from a family that has lifestyle diseases.
How do you know if your cough is due to a serious condition? We'll have some answers. Stay well
and strive to make every day a healthy day.
Right. Okay, good morning. Welcome back to Good Morning Kenya. It's a beautiful Monday morning. It's the 14th day of April 2025. As always on Mondays, it's about politics. Let's take a look at what really happened throughout the week and what happened throughout the weekend, basically putting everything into context, politically speaking. I'll also be taking a look at what we have on the front page of the local daily so that we get updated on what is there, so that maybe you can just go and pick your favorite paper. In studio, I have Bishop James Mbugwa, who is a leadership expert and a commentator. He's also a bishop at the Fountain Gate Church in Nairobi. Bishop, good morning.
Good morning.
Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
Just before I go to Daftali, what do you make it? The church, you are on the chopping board for some time now. It's something that has been happening for quite a long time. Why are you not in good terms with the other side?
Well, I must say that government is in business and church is in business, and sometimes we are at loggerheads, not because we intend to be at war, but because I believe as each of those institutions or entities pursues their plan or purpose,
yes,
some things don't seem to work out very well.
What is the plan or purpose?
You know, for us in the church, we preach, we present the kingdom of God,
yes,
righteousness, peace, and joy. To the extent anything, therefore, is not righteous or bringing peace or joy among the people, then we'll restate the position of the kingdom of God and the word of God, and that sometimes is therefore not received or taken very kindly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
but not that anything is done or said to offend anyone or to in any way discredit anyone. It's just that we have to be the salt of the earth and the light of the world. And in being that, sometimes some people who don't like it.
It will be unsettling.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that calls for the politics of unity that we want to talk about today, because when the church is pulling on this end and the political class also pulling on the other side, that who is in the middle here? Wanjiku?
Wanjiku, yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that, how we can bring that unity. Wakili, Dr. Naftali Nyamongo is a certified professional mediator and governance expert. There should be a mediation between the two sides so that Wanjiku to have some peace of mind.
Absolutely.
Good morning.
Good morning and hello viewers. Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You know, the most important thing, as Bishop has said, Jesus Christ came with reconciliation. That there was a relationship between man and God in the beginning. That relationship was destroyed due to the lapse of mankind into sinfulness because of the sin of Adam and Eve. So Jesus Christ came to reconcile man back to God. So reconciliation and mediation is spiritual. And the framers of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 adopted it so that we may have a win-win situation. Because the normal litigation process was considered as adversarial.
Yes.
So mediation is where you compromise. Two disputants compromise their what? Their stance. So that now we have a common what? Ground. That's why we have alternative dispute resolution.
Yes.
And I am a mediator. I sit in the court annex mediation tribunal at the Milmani Law Courts.
You'll tell us more about this, because when we talk of politics unity, Mark Ndingo is a governance expert, political analyst. You've had the two voices, great minds, as a preamble of the show. Let me just say that. Are we united?
I'll say no. And yes, no, because being united is, as I've said, is a broader thing, and to some you'll find them saying we are united, but to others we are not united. We are not united because you'll find many times we pull from different directions, and some of the things that unite us, so we don't seem to agree on them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get to that shortly. But let me take you through the front page of a local dailies. Let me start with the Star newspaper. What do you have here? Kenyans hit by Trump policies. That is what I have on the front page of the Star newspaper. Kenyans hit by Trump policies. One of the biggest things is that many Kenyans are going to lose their jobs. Why? Thousands of Kenyans to lose jobs as US President tough tariffs take effect. 180,000 people will lose their jobs on the line due to the tariff. That's number one. Number two, there's so many figures here and statistics that you can take a look at in details on the front page of the Star newspaper. Again, the difficult journey to economic opportunity, that is what we have. Remember, we are in the second quarter of this year, and the financial year is almost coming to an end, and the process of getting the next finance bill in process, etc., is also on course. How foreign firms exploit gaps to dodge taxes, something that, again, the government launched the e-platform to do taxes. It's been going digital in terms of revenue collection in the country, and now this is where it is. Finally, Raila backs governors in fight with MPs over funds for devolution projects. This has been a discussion that has been there since time immemorial, ever since the inception of this Constitution of 2010. The aspect of devolution and money following function is part of that nerve of the Constitution. But if you find it, that governors are now asking for 450 billion shillings, right? But there is a proposal to cut it down to 405 billion shillings. So there is a contention between the giver and who is going to take it. On the front page of the Standard, gold money deals. That is what I have on the front page of the Standard, gold money deals. There are three gentlemen on the front page here. You can take a look at that. The story says that it's more of a web of intrigue, where Sudan's crisis deepens as Darfur buries over 150,000 of its people. Yet shadowy gold deals thrive amid the chaos. Kenya hosts RSF warlords accused of fueling the bloodshed. Sudan has accused the United Arab Emirates at the International Court of Justice of violating the Genocide Convention and by arming the RSF. And here's the story. There is little doubt that Nairobi's silence and missteps are bound to invite global scrutiny, raising questions about complicity in a tragedy driven by profit. That is what I have here on the front page. Still, Mount Kenya is in government to stay, MPs say. And the gentleman here on subject is Deputy President Dr. Professor Kithure Kindiki. I beg your pardon. Finally, on the front page of the Daily Nation, queries over billions in Swiss banks. Gentlemen, this is not something new. It has been there. Money stashed in offshore accounts. And now it's also coming back again. It's some 6.5 billion shillings in e-visa revenues was channeled to Swiss account instead of the consolidated fund. So is it a case of same scripts being acted over and over and over again. State probe implicates Medihill in trafficking of body organs. Again, something not new. I remember doing this story way back in 2005 as a reporter. Did some of this. And many politicians also raised this in 2007, 2006, raised towards the run-up to the general election. A lot of questions were raised as per this story. Why? There's a record when you saw some two MPs fighting in the precincts of Parliament. Now there's an MP who recorded two colleagues fighting in Parliament. Is in trouble. Yeah. So you can take a look at your favorite paper and grab it. Gentlemen, let's come back and talk about the politics of unity. Reading from here, the question I want to ask you, Bishop, let me start by asking you. Now, you heard what Mark said, that it depends with what kind of unity we are talking about here. But are we united? I'll do this because the president and other leaders spoke this in Siaya on Saturday. Director? All right. So let's just listen to give it some backbone. What the president said on Saturday. Take a look.
Allow me to use this occasion to thank my elder brother, the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. I have come a very long way with the Honorable Raila Odinga. And I want to stand here today and to say, I did not know that the man I stood by and gave my all at a moment in my life, we would eventually become competitors, and that he would eventually come and anchor my leadership. And so, the Honorable Prime Minister, I want to tell you, I am truly grateful that just the same way I stood with you when you needed a man to stand with you, you have
You have equally stood with me when I needed someone to help me. Bishop, based on what the president said, the call for unity of a nation, let's just bring it back and have some broader aspects to it so that we run away from two individuals. When you hear them talk, you see two different constituencies speaking. Two different people representing different constituencies, but they are trying to reconcile the two constituencies to become one block. What did you read from the president's sentiments?
With all due respect to the president and all our politicians, I have come to observe something, and it's been said that we are practicing politics of interest. Not that it's any different maybe elsewhere, but I would like to say that until the national unity and working together is a priority, then what will prevail is our personal interests and what benefits us and what works best for us, even if that means that Kenya burns. Where we are now as a nation, in terms of cohesiveness, etc., is because certain people have their own interests and they are pursuing that, and different others are having their own interests and they are pursuing that. But the two groups and their interests are divergent. So there's an apparent division or disunity, but I would say we are united in that we have come sort of to a place of agreeing, let each pursue their own personal interests. So in that we are one mind. Everyone is running, chasing after their own dream, sometimes at the expense of the national cohesiveness. And so there's a deliberation, there's a discussion that we must have. And I remember when I was here last time, I said we need a national dialogue so that we can have one vision, one mission, and which we pursue from our different positions and publics. So that then we can, the cohesiveness of Kenya becomes more important than personal interest. There's a politician, I can quote him, who one day said that the interest of a nation, there comes a time when the interest of a nation are more important than personal
That
interest.
must have been Professor Gillette Saitoti.
I think it was him.
Yes.
I can't quite remember what he was
There
pushing.
comes a time when a nation becomes more important than an individual.
Yeah, and I think he made a decision that maybe was not to his favor necessarily, but he was trying to avert some trouble somewhere in stepping down, in lowering down a little bit of his own personal interest to see the nation going forward. And I think that was at the...
But who is ready to do that? More so from the political class.
Well, I don't see us wanting to do that, because even the apparent division, even like, for example, in the political class, it's not that they are divided and they are not one. It's just that we can't agree. I can't have what I want, and you can't give me, and I can't give you what you want. And so we appear to be divided. But I'll tell you this. Who ever thought that the handshake that we have just experienced in the current government would ever take place? Nobody ever thought. But the two gentlemen and their teams, I'm sure, sat down somewhere and agreed. Upon that agreement of we can do this together, we can support each other, we now enjoy that agreement and working together, as the president has just said. If that could happen between him and that one gentleman, it can happen with another one and another one. There's nothing, like lines drawn, we can never work together. We just need to be a little bit more national conscious and less selfish, and focus more on how our nation can forge forward. Because if Kenya burns, at the end of the day, all of us are the losers. But if Kenya is flourishing and growing, even those that are not in power, so to say, would also flourish. Okay. They have their space.
Naftali.
Yeah, Mr. Lo, in his own words, and you will allow me to quote Mahatma Gandhi. The fact of the matter is that we do not know our distant goal. It will be determined not by our definitions, but by our acts, voluntary and involuntary. If we are wise, we will take care of the present and leave the future to take care of itself. Because God has given us only a limited sphere of action and a limited vision. Sufficient unto the day is the good thereof. Full stop and report. Now, having said that, I have listened to the president speak about that unity. The question which we need to ask is that unity sincere? Was that unity between him and the Honorable Raila Odinga anchored on a judgment based on observable phenomena? Because in my view, that unity between the two were influenced by emotions and the personal prejudices. Because there is no way you can divide one camp for you to gain the other. Remember, for the Honorable Raila Odinga to unite with Ruto had to sacrifice a certain what? Unity. In the name of what? Gashawa. So we are asking Kenyans, now that we are speaking about unity, what is unity? Unity is that quality of being united as one.
Yes.
So how can we be...
Are we not united?
We are not united. We are not united. In fact, it is William Ruto and Raila Odinga who are united.
We are united.
We are not united. And what I'm speaking is capable of being treated as fact. This is not hearsay. The two leaders themselves, they too have united with their blocks, some or the entire. But the people of Kenya are not united. The mountain is not united. The people from Kisii are not united. Recently, the Honorable Raila Odinga was in the Kisii Stadium and he was jeered. Why? For the first time. The Kisiis are jeering him, telling him that whatever you are doing is not part of our representation. The unity, let me tell you, Raila Odinga has been uniting with other leaders, but this unity with him, with the President William Ruto, it was morally bad in principle and in practice. It tormented some Kenyans emotionally and mentally. People are not united, and people are not happy. You know, there's that thing we call well-being. Well-being is that contented state of being happy and healthy and prosperous. That you need us to showcase what? Well-being. It begins from the from part 5 of the preamble of the Constitution of Kenya. We, the people of Kenya, committed to nurturing and protecting the well-being of the individual, the family, communities, and the nation. So when you divide some people who are part of the nation, who voted for you overwhelmingly, and then go to seek sympathy from, let's say, the quarter which never voted for you.
Yes.
Then it now acts like a supporting life machine, and you call it unity. The moment the people of Kenya are going to unite is when we will be transforming, when we will be have achieved transformation. Transformation is that qualitative change.
Okay. You know, I want to ask you, because you'll answer this question, even all of you, because what aspect of unity are we talking about here? When it comes to politics, economically speaking, socially?
No. The unity we are talking about,
yes,
Mr. Law, is that national unity.
National unity.
It is very paramount. National unity.
Let me get from Mark Ndingo. What's your sentiments? Based from what the president said.
Based on what the president said, I think on his side, he's united with the ODM party, that is Raila Odinga, because you know, the president is talking about unity for the nation, which is not, according to me, is not being honest, because he only united with the Raila so that he can save his government from collapsing. And the two parties, that is UDA and ODM, we can agree they are united in one way or the other, although not 100%, because we can find even some people from ODM are still not happy with that unity, because they are pulling from different directions, the likes of Sifuna and Orengo. But if you want to talk about the unity of the nation, I think we need to go further and have that cohesiveness, whereby a president who is elected by the people of Kenya is supposed to be the unifying factor.
Yes.
And for him to unite the people and to unite the country, he's supposed to go further and incorporate more people to his government, not politically.
Which has happened.
Not politically, but in so many ways. Like if you look at employment, you'll find that it's skewed to some regions. You'll find even some other regions who never voted for this government are not even well represented. So if you want to have that aspect of uniting the country, you should have a government of all the people. Not necessarily people who are helping you to run the government, but also people who are qualified to be called experts. So I believe for the country to have that unity, we need to have that conversation whereby is even well articulated in the Constitution that whenever we have a government, your government should have a representation of all the regions. So I still believe we are not yet there in terms of unity.
All right, but let me ask you, don't you think politicians understand, in political science, the politics of unity? So there is that bit of it, politics of unity. So politicians understand that bit of it, Bishop, because that is part of it that they expunge from it and run with. But, you know, he says that Kenyans are not united, as well as Dr. Mark Naftali. He says that Kenyans are not united, but I think we are united. You are a bishop. Anytime you are in the pulpit and you're looking at, can I say, mwana kondo?
You want to blackmail the bishop. I'm not intimidating.
What do you see?
Well, Victor, there are three things here I think we are dealing with.
Right.
Politics, governance, leadership.
Politics, governance, and leadership.
Yes.
Yes.
They are intertwined, of course, but they are different. Politicians will always play politics, which has got to do with amassing more power. So politics focuses on power. And you will need power anyway to come into government.
Yes.
Where governance is the execution by the authority given of the services that you promise or that are expected.
Yeah.
But then leadership, and I think the matter we are discussing here is more of leadership. Leadership has got to do with taking people from one point to another, and they should arrive safely. And obviously, it's part of our national ethos. It's even in our national anthem, that united as a people. And unity is core and key in the nation of Kenya. I have listened to our president and his team. There's a clarion call wherever they go. They say, is it okay for the president is it okay for him to unite Kenya? And everyone, of course, says yes, because that's part of our aspirations and our desires. And anyway, united we stand, divided we fall. There is a scripture in the book of Psalms, chapter 133, that says, behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren, people that are related in any way, dwell together in unity. That is where God commands a blessing. So we need unity. It's a commodity we cannot do without.
Yes.
But as I said earlier on, we seem to have to be united in this thought that let everyone pursue their own selfish, their own personal ambitions and desires. We seem to be in agreement about that, which I think is not right. We should shift our unity or oneness position from that place where it's like everyone is free, pursue what you want to do. It's your national, it's your constitutional right, you are a Kenyan, to a place where we are pursuing the building, the cohesiveness of our nation. So that if my actions are in any way a threat to that, then I should be challenged, not just by president or one person. All the 50-some million Kenyans should stand up and tell me, hey bro, you are not doing something good. This is going to jeopardize, this is going to compromise the thing we value most, and that's the national cohesiveness of our country. Yeah.
Dr. I come back to you. As I asked, don't you think politicians understand that bit of it, the politics of unity? It's practiced all over the world in political spheres.
You know, we need to distinguish that understanding by the politician and the understanding of unity by the framers of the Constitution of Kenya. We are talking about national unity. There is no way, Mr. Olo, you can allude that the president can chase, in fact, to impeach your deputy president, literally you are chasing him. You chase your deputy, you chase some of your CSS arbitrarily, without any just cause. Because of, let's say, that grudging admiration or desire to have something possessed by another. Then you go and seek sympathy from the opposition using, let's say, bribe and kickbacks. You know, that is now the right definition of a banana republic. In political science, a banana republic is an government obtained or gained through fraudulence. There is no way we can have an election each and every after 5 years. Then you find that the people who voted for the government have been kicked out. The people who never voted for it have been welcomed. And then you call it unity. How can you call it unity when a government fears or panics when students of Butere girls are denied to do what? To perform in national drama. This is culture. These are our tastes and in art and manners favored by our society. The moment we are going to unite as the people, is the moment Kenya is going to transform. Okay. We have the transformation agenda.
But do you think all of us are united here? Are we united?
Yes.
I want to say that we are united because I want to serve you tea.
Yes, we are.
Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Mambo.
Potela.
Patie mandazi nikauze.
Uli, mandazi iko wapi? Wewe.
Hii ni 10. Na iko na nyama ndani.
Hapa food polite manzi. Hapa na unatuma mambo yenyu tu hapa hivi iko polite manzi. Marada hapa.
Malandazi alitoka na last government.
Ati nikanje food 390. Nijikute nijichune.
Finally. Kuji.
Kwenda toka hapa. Kwenda kabisa.
Nitapotea maji.
Wewe, hebu simama hapa. Ngoja tushike.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday from 10 p.m. and a rerun every Tuesday from 2 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
All right, and welcome back. We are united. Can we have a toast? We are all united because we have a cup of tea on Good Morning Kenya. Very, very well. So we are united, you see. All right. So, Bishop, you have to say something before we took a break.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, commenting on what you've just said. Unity is displayed in different ways. Are we talking about united in action? I think we're united in action here. What we're doing, having this show. But there's also being united in mind. Are we of the same mind and view? Sometimes people can be doing the same thing in the same place, but they are of divergent views. What about heart? Where motives come from?
Yeah.
Are we united in heart? I think we should cease to judge or determine unity just by what people are doing. You know, people can be together doing something and they're actually not together, and they will not tell you that. You'd only know that they are not together if you went a little bit deeper beyond the skin and check what they are thinking and check what they are also feeling in their hearts. I can offer you a cup of tea and it looks like I'm really for you, but there's some poison in the tea. So are we really united? Maybe we are in terms of taking tea, but in terms of my motives, I am undermining you and I'm against what you're doing and against your progress. And so we need to take unity to a little bit, somewhere a little bit deeper, go to the conscience and ask ourselves the question, what's the motive behind whatever is done? I am personally of the opinion, for example, in uniting our nation, the president should reach out to everyone. If he could reach out to the opposition, then the opposition is now in government. Then every other person who was in the opposition should also be in government, and everyone who was in government should still be in government. But if it's a case of displacement, like we studied in physics, that we have to displace, to replace, etc., etc., then we have a new unity but now we have a new opposition. And sometimes the new opposition may even be stronger than the former opposition, whereby in terms of the threat of being seen to pull together is even higher. I am of the personal opinion that whereas multi-party politics allows different people to join different political parties and have different policies and all of that. But that does not mean we have as many Kenyans. Kenya is still one. And with all that we do, we have to do it in favor of the cohesiveness of our nation. So that we are truly united and not conveniently united. Only when it favors me, I'm saying unatosha. But when it's not favoring me, then hautoshi mboga. Really? In only 1 month or 2 months, our speech has changed? That it means there's something wrong with our motives.
Let me ask Bishop.
Yes.
Bishop, I would like you to speak with an honest and sincere feeling. Raila Odinga has been known to have specialized in destroying governments. That is a fact. That is a fact. You know him like that. Do you think now this unity between him and William Ruto will survive? And what good will it bring to the people of Kenya? Bishop.
What I know about the Honorable Raila Odinga is that he is very strong. He's very strong in highlighting what is not right. He's very good. He is fearless, and that's an attribute we need. My only fear now is when he's in government, he will not be a critic of the same government. So who is the loser? Kenya is going to lose, because if we don't have anyone who comments with accuracy and finality on different issues, then we can see our nation going down the drain. So I wouldn't, castigate him and think that he's into the government to destroy it. But as I said earlier on, he is in government with a motive. And the government brought him on board also with a motive. So it's a question of motive, politics of interest, not necessarily national cohesiveness. So as for what will become of the government, we will have to wait and see. In the meantime, the church is praying. We are also doing some civic education from a biblical perspective, telling our people that we should vote with our conscience, not just voting according to my man, our people, our time, our tribe, but voting with conscience, so that at the end of the day, our nation is based on a solid foundation.
Okay. I want to, before you come in, Mark, let's play again where Junet Mohamedo spoke about that, and Opio Wandai, who is the CS for Energy right now. Let's play the two clips and also give it some backbone on what we're talking about.
We must appreciate the gains that we have made as a country. And I must thank Baba Raila Amolo Odinga for accepting to work closely with you, Your Excellency, to unite this country. Your Excellency, where you sit, rest assured that Baba has got our collective mandate as the people of this region to assist you to unite this country. And that from where we sit, Your Excellency, there is no turning back. We have made a decision that we are working with you, and we are doing this to the end. To the end.
Your Excellency, kitu moja umefanya pamoja na Baba ni kusaidia sisi kulete Wakenya pamoja. Sisi saa hii tuko na chairman ya budget kwa bunge, anaitwa Samatandi. Tuko na Mbadi kwa treasury. Saa hii mimi ndio kama leader ya bunge, ndio naangalia hawa vile wanafanya kazi, vile wamegawa mali na rasilimali ya Kenya. Zamani nilikuwa naona tu kwa view sasa. Saa hii chairman ya health committee ana report kwangu, Dr. Nyikal, na ulisa panga weka hospitali huko namna hii. Hiyo ndio ile Kenya tunataka, sio Kenya kubagua wengine na wengine wanakula. Kwa kumalizia, Your Excellency, mimi nataka, juzi niliangalia budget. Juzi mimi mwenyewe niliangalia. Miaka 2 iliyopita, 2021 na 2022, kuna barabara 1,400 kilometers new roads were started through the taxes of Kenyans. 970 kilometers wa assign to one region. Sisi tumeona barabara kilomita 45 peke yake hapa Nyanza yote 45 is it 32 kilometers. Na anaweza kubali na ushuru ikisanywa inasanywa kwa kila mtu. Haibaguliwi. Waseme watu fulani msitoe ushuru kwa sababu maendeleo haikuji kwenu. Inasanywa kwa kila mtu. Si nyinyi mnalipa ushuru?
Okay. Mark, the tone, the message. Go ahead.
Listening to Badi and not Opio Wadai and Junet Mohamed is typical of a Kenyan politician. You'll talk something today and tomorrow you talk something different. If you look at Badi of Wadai and Junet of 2024, it's not the same Junet of 2025.
Yes.
Just because today he's in government, he's talking of uniting the country. But what has united them? Just one thing, their interest. Interest in terms of they are getting the committees they were given by the Kenya Kwanza government after being declared the majority party. And that now drives us to the question of are our leaders really honest in saying that they are united? They are not united because they only have one interest. The interest is to unite, we get the power, we get the committees we want, and then life moves on. So I think there is much to do with the talk of national unity. And the two leaders, that is Raila and the president, should go further and do more than talking. Because you can't say you are united just because you have one part of the region, example Nyanza and maybe the Kenya Kwanza constituency united, and you have another region which is central, which has put away from your government. So you move one step forward, two steps backward.
Yes, and when you listen to them, there is that thing that Junet Mohamed had said, that Bishop, you know, si tulikuwa tunaona to these positions, you know, somewhere else.
Of you, Sasa.
Yes, but then now that there's a position given to that person, there's that given to this, there's distribution. So Kenya is united. Is it some kind of, is there a barometer now to put it that now that is a scale of unity that people are talking about? Because if you look at the national ethos that you talked about, the national unity that is being described here is not about docket X and Y given to person X and Y. Go ahead.
Yeah, and thank you. When you listen to what our leaders, our politicians are saying, it just confirms what we had said here earlier on, that we have an apparent unity that is based on interest. If anything shifts in terms of interest, that unity will disintegrate. So, which means it was not actually unity in the very beginning.
Yes.
It was not unity as unity should be. Because to me, unity means we have one mind concerning this matter. We have one heart or same feeling. And if we are not in agreement, then we come to the table, discuss, and we will come to some certain agreement of some sort. You know, give and take. You can't have everything, but we can agree on some things. And then be one in action. When it's time to plant trees, we all plant trees. But sometimes in Kenya, and I'm speaking in parables, when some are planting trees, others are behind them uprooting those same trees. Do you think it is possible, for example, to bring onto the table all the different minds and views, harmonize them, and while as we keep our political inclinations and all that, but be united by something bigger? Because I have found that as long as it is matters within our politics, we seem to be agreed, or at least can speak from the same voice. But can we shift from our, in Kenya, part of our division, which is which is an undoing, is because of tribes. We have very many tribes.
Yes.
A long time ago, we were divided on tribal lines. Today is not tribal lines, it's political parties. And there are as many, I think, as the number of tribes we have in our nation. But 42, 44 tribes make one Kenya. 44 or so political parties still leading the same one Kenya. So the interest of Kenya should surpass the interest we have as tribes and as political parties. Is it not possible? And I know it is, because in the days of one party, you know, before multi-party politics, the days of Kanu, we would have regional representation from all the regions, and they would come to the one table and discuss, and the nation seemed to work together and work together. And while as we have multi-party politics, many different parties, can all these parties come to some certain sort of an agreement? Like, for example, in all we do, with whatever we do, we will not allow our nation to go down the drain. In all we do and say, we will not criticize or destroy what is working, what is good. Because sometimes politicians will just critique something, not because it's not very good. Some have not even taken time to study. Like, for example, SHA. How many politicians do you think have studied to understand this thing? What are the challenges? Why is it not working? What can we do to make it work? Some of them, if they have an idea that will make SHA work, they will not share it. They will say, wacha tuingie tuwaonyeshe. But they had the wisdom, you know, that they could have shared. And no one has the monopoly of wisdom. Maybe someone in the opposition has the skill, has the strategy that could get some of these government programs and projects rolling. But now the case has been, unless I'm in government, unless I'm inside there, I'm opposed to it.
Yes.
Even when they bring something good, I oppose it. So we therefore cannot agree, because not one mind, not one heart, not one in action.
I mean, gentlemen, you'll agree with me. The late Mzee Julius Kambarage Nyerere talked about Ujamaa. But did you know that Tanzanians are more than us? We are 42 tribes, but in Tanzania
there are 105.
105.
Yeah.
But you'll never hear of quote-unquote Aluo, Chaga, and all that. They're all Tanzanians.
Do you know why? Do you know why?
No.
It is about culture, language and culture. Mzee Kambarage Nyerere specialized, knew that for the nation or for the Republic of Tanzania to have that unity, which is formidable, then they must have one language. That's why when you go to the deep reserve in TZ, you find an elder speaking pure what? Swahili. It's about culture.
That's what brought them together.
Let me bring culture and what is happening in the United States vis-a-vis China. In his own words, and you will allow me to quote Martin Jacques, that China will overtake the US as world's largest economy by the year 2027, and will ascend to the position of world economic leader by the year 2050. Full stop and unquote. Martin Jacques is a British scholar and a journalist. He's written a book entitled "When China Rules the World, the End of the Western World, and the Birth of a New Global Order." So what is he speaking about? China is moving with a neck-breaking speed because of their culture. They speak one language. Chinese speak one language. Chinese eat the same food. If they decide to eat a particular food, all of the Chinese eat that food. If they decide to drink a certain drink, all of them.
And they're proud of that.
Yeah, they call it hegemony. This is what has enabled them to make those tremendous progress. And it's going to overtake the United States as the superpower. So we are talking about culture. And now that we are talking about unity here, in our constitution, when you look at the preamble, part 3, proud of our ethnic, religious, and cultural diversity. Ours is about diversity. In China, it's not diversity. It's just one culture. It's just one language. That's why you have spoken about Mwalimu Julius.
But that calls for a deliberate. You have to be quite deliberate about that. I mean, Mzee Nyerere was so deliberate about that. There's not a Chaga. There's no. All of them are one.
Yeah. And And now I've been speaking about transformation.
Okay.
Because of that, let me, a minute, I beg your indulgence. Yeah. The pioneers, the founding fathers of any nation determine the future of that nation. That's why the founding fathers of our nation determined what we are now experiencing.
It is the foundation.
It is the foundation.
Okay. I mean, basically, based on what you're talking about, Mark, again, you can also respond to that. The foundation is very important, even in building a house, generally speaking, on a face value. You have a shaky foundation, just be so sure. You're not going to go 3 courses up.
I mean, we know what happened in Mombasa the other day.
Exactly, you get it.
11-story building.
So it had to be bombed down. Mark, go ahead.
So as much as my friend says it's more of culture, I think it's also more on leadership. Because if you compare Kenya and Tanzania, they are founding fathers, Nyerere, they preached oneness. Ujamaa. And if you come to Kenya, the founding fathers, they did not encourage more of one Kenya. And that if you miss, as you have said, if you miss the foundation, even the roof will collapse.
Yes.
That's why you find our national cohesion is not that agreed well to the people. And I believe we have had some challenges with that. And soon I think we have seen how Kenyans can be united in one thing. Good example is when we had the June 25th last year of the Gen Z revolution. You'll find that they are united, not because they come from a different tribe, but they have one unity of asking for accountability. That is unity.
Yes.
And if you can see even what is happening now, in future, even in the coming elections, I think we are going to have a country which is going to be more united, not simply because on tribe, but on one issue, to have good governance, good accountability for our people. And I think we'll be there in some coming years to come.
So assume you are sitting in a committee of experts, the 3 of you, and you're asked, how do we achieve national unity? Again, let me start with you, Mark. How, in your own perspective, how would we achieve it as a nation? Include everybody, including the politicians, everybody as a Kenyan. How would we achieve it?
I think to achieve unity, first, we have a very good constitution. We only need to follow the constitution, do what is required of the constitution, and then, on the part of the people, we need to go for the right people when you go for elections. Get the right leaders who are going to be accountable and transparent, and who are going to follow the constitution to the letter. Yeah, I think that can bring also unity.
You talked to the constitution, and I saw Naftali nodding. He's a happy man.
Yeah,
you've touched his heart to the core. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a legal scholar, versed with the civil law and the law of nations. And when you speak about the constitution, I get happy because this is a body of fundamental principles or established precedents, according to which our nation has been acknowledged to be governed. Now, my brother Mark has spoken about leadership. For us to have national unity, then we must anchor right or proper what? Leadership. And for us to anchor right or proper leadership, then we must uphold our democracy and sandwich it with meritocracy.
Right.
What is meritocracy? Meritocracy is a social system in which power goes to those with superior intellects. Or it is a belief that leaders should be chosen because of their superior abilities and not because of their birth or wealth. So when you look at the president, who is now the CEO, we need to have a president, and I'm suggesting that the next general election, we should have a president who has that quality of being well qualified, intellectually and physically, to lead our people. Because as a symbol of national unity, then he has to have that trait of sincere and the steadfast fixed of
just to put it in perspective.
And
our president is intellectually, spiritually, and fit.
I'm speaking because you have asked how can we obtain what national unity, and I'm answering for us to obtain national unity. Our leader, our CEO, ought to have that unbroken and undivided completeness. That is why now some parts of the country have begun speaking about what? Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i, because they understand this person had that act of binding himself emotionally and intellectually to his course of action.
Bishop,
yes, sir.
When you sit in that table, you've heard what the two gentlemen have said. So you're sitting there. What would you give as an advice to achieve this?
All right. I believe that unity should be based on purpose. Because of a certain purpose that we pursue, we need each other. And there are 4 things I would say will help us to forge national unity. Number 1, have the right motives in whatever we do. Do soul searching. Come back to our national ethos. Number 2 is civic education. Most Kenyans know we have a constitution, but they don't know what is in the constitution. So civic education that will educate us on what is provided for in our constitution and also our national policies and other institutions and what services we can expect to receive from them. Right now, people are talking about IEBC and the nominations that are going on, but few know, the policies that govern, IEBC. The third thing is national dialogue. We still need to talk. And I do know that we all talk through our members of parliament who represent us in parliament. But sometimes these, our brothers and sisters, instead of talking to one another, they are talking at each other, which in a sense discourages the forging of unity. And the fourth thing is hard work.
Hard work.
There's nothing else that will put money in our pockets and food on our table if we just do politicking and all of that without going back to work and contribute towards the national cake. Those 4 things, I think, will help us appreciate each other and work together as one Kenya, one nation.
I love the fact that today we talked about unity, but just to put it in context, we are all united, right?
Yeah,
we are all united. That's why we are sharing a cup of tea. There's something Bishop said, that I can offer you a cup of tea, but you don't know the motive. That's what we talked about. I have good intentions to offer you that.
I trust you.
Thank you so much. Bishop James Mbugua, leadership expert and commentator. He's also the Bishop of Fountain Gate Church, Nairobi. Mark Kindiki is a governance expert and a political analyst. And finally, Dr. Naftali Nyamongo, certified professional mediator and a governance expert. General, thank you so much for coming to the show. We've done 1 hour of full conversation. Asante sana. We talked about, shaky foundation of a house. If you don't build it right, it will collapse, So we have the CEO of the Affordable Housing Board to talk about the progress of the affordable housing. Do you have 1 unit?
Yeah, we have 1
unit. It's okay. It's okay. No, thank you. Sheila Oweru coming up shortly, but let's wrap it up with the weather. My name is Victor. Good morning.
Thank you.
Technology has become a crucial part of our society. Without technological advancements, so much of our everyday lives would be drastically different. As technology develops, it strives to fulfill the changing needs of society. This means that technology exists to help us achieve the things that we wouldn't be able to achieve without it. Take on Tech looks at the advantages and downsides.
Welcome back from politics. Now we talk about matters affordable housing. Welcome. My name is Mike Migu. Now, affordable housing is one of the core projects that the Kenya Kwanza government promised Kenyans, and they are doing everything they can to deliver on it. The idea was to build 1 million houses by 2027. So what is the progress so far? In studio, I'm joined by Ms. Sheila Waweru, who is the acting CEO, Affordable Housing Board. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Karibu sana. Affordable housing. The idea was to build 1 million houses by 2027 and deliver 200,000 houses per year. What is the progress?
There's been quite a lot that has been done so far in regards to the program. Right now we have over 130,000 units which are ongoing, and an equal number which is under procurement through the various implementing agencies. So we feel we are on track. It will be, it will be fast-tracked over the years that are coming. But with the levy right now supporting the development, we feel we are on track to deliver the 1,000 units by 2027. Yes.
All right. Remember, you can be part of this conversation by sending us your SMS or rather WhatsApp message via 0716 10 33 01. 0716 10 33 01. Now, let's look at the ownership now process. Everybody, anyone who wants to own a house through this program.
Yes.
What is the process of ownership?
Thank you for asking me that, Mike, because it's one of the messages that we are trying to push out here. Kenyans have seen that right now the houses are going up all across the country, and the key interest is on how do I get a house as an interested Kenyan. So the entire application process and the allocation process is on Boma Yangu portal, which is housed on eCitizen. Remember, all government services have been onboarded onto eCitizen. So a Kenyan should go to www.bomayangu.go.ke or dial *832# to be able to get onto the portal. Once you're on the portal, you're able to see all the projects that are being done across the country, those ones that have started. And then with that, you're able to select one, whichever area, whichever county in the country that you'd like a house, okay? And the houses are open to all Kenyans, irrespective of how much you're running. So once you get onto the portal, there are 3 categories that we look at in terms of income brackets. So there is the social category, which is for persons earning below 20,000 Kenya shillings per month. There is the affordable housing, which they're all affordable, but there is the bracket called affordable housing for persons earning between 20,000 and 149,000. And then we have, for persons who are earning above 149,000, there is affordable middle class. So once you get onto the portal, you're able to, one, fill your information, you know, your ID, your living situation, your income, which will be verified. So it's important to also ensure that you provide the actual income. And that way, through the portal, you're able to see which houses are available to you in line with your income bracket. So once you see that, you can start saving because you've already made the commitment you want a home. And these homes are to be paid for eventually. So start paying, you can start paying immediately through the same Bomango portal. It has various payment options through M-Pesa, through bank accounts, it gives you various options. So you can start off on that. And then you're able to select a specific unit which you're interested in, You can say, I want Kikuyu AHP. And in Kikuyu AHP, I want a 2-bedroom, because once you've put in your information, the system enables you to see those houses that are available to you based on your income. So then you select the unit that you prefer. With that, you can tell how much a 10% deposit would amount to. So if, let's say, you want a 2-bedroom house and it's 2 million shillings, of course, that's 200,000 Kenya shillings. So then you pay, you top up your savings all the way to 200,000 Kenya shillings, because it's a requirement, and this is within the Act, that you do need to have a 10% deposit to the house. And your 10% deposit can be either through the amount you've saved on the Bomango portal. You can have approached a financial institution which is willing to guarantee you the 10%, so you have a bank guarantee for the 10% deposit. And for those ones who are in the social category, because we understand they need more cushioning, they can apply for deposit assistance, which is something also prescribed within our regulations. And this way you apply to the board to get a 10% deposit, which will still be payable over, the 30 years period that you're given as part of the cost of the unit. But you do get that 10% deposit paid for you by the board, or lent to you by the board. So once you've attained your 10% deposit, then you can be able to fill an application form for allocation of the unit. So within the application form, of course, there are various questions that will enable the board assess you for one, that you are able to get the unit, you are able to pay for the unit, and it helps us also in terms of determining where there is an oversubscription compared to the number of units available, then what is the order of that allocation, okay? And that goes in line with who probably came onto the portal first. If you're all eligible, let's say you're 200 of you and the units are 150, you have to get 150 out of the total 200 persons. So then at that point, you're able to look at the timestamp of who came onto the portal, who applied first, who made that deposit first, and that enables you to shortlist. So once you filled this application form, then upon submission of the form, we have bank institutions financial institutions, banks that we have partnered with, who are helping us to make assessments of those application forms. And the reason for doing this is that we want financial institutions to come on board and help us in providing affordable financing, home financing to Kenyans. Remember our housing units, we are providing home financing at very affordable rates. So for the social category, it's at 3%. For the affordable housing, it's at 6%, and for affordable mid-class is at 9%, which are normally rates below the normal market price, okay? If you go out here, you're getting mortgages at 18%, 20%. But being the affordable housing program, and our key goal is to ensure that Kenyans are able to afford homes, then we have ensured that we put the interest rates at way below market price. And the tenure is even longer, it's 30 years. So that many, many Kenyans are able to access homes and to be able to, for us to raise mortgages from 30,000 to 1 million mortgages over the 5 years. So once the banks are able to, they're able to come onto the platform, they're able to assess the application forms, they're able to identify Kenyans who that they can approach with the affordable financing options. And then from there, because there are 3 ways of owning these homes. You can come and pay through cash, outright cash purchase. You can come through for home financing through the institutions that we have, or you can also feel free and approach an institution of your preference. And then the third option is through tenant purchase scheme, whereby you come and put in your 10% deposit, and then the rest, the cost of the house is amortized over a 30-year period. So with those 3 options, and which is something you still indicate in your application form, then we are able to assess, and from that we're able to see who then has been successful through the allocation process. The allocation process is very fair and transparent. It's fully automated, still on the Boma Yangu portal, and therefore we are able to get results of then who are successful, who can get homes, and from that then we're able to offer you an offer letter.
Okay.
So upon acceptance, then we follow through to complete the sale.
All right.
Yes, and offer you an agreement.
What is the uptake, or how many people have applied for this housing so far?
I may not have the exact number offhand because we put out a huge number of projects out, a total of 4,888 units, and they are spread over the country over about 17 or 18 projects. So I don't have those offhand. But also we've realized quite a trend of 2 and 3 bedrooms. Most of them are actually oversubscribed, you know. So there's quite a huge interest, and we are still calling out to Kenyans because it's not just the 4,888. The 4,888 units are those that we have projected for completion by June. But there are more projects that are going on across the country, and even those ones are on the Boma Yangu portal. So someone is still able to get onto the portal and select even those ones that are not part of the 488, because we anticipate completion of projects as we continue. You know, they've all started at different times, but this was the first batch of a huge allocation that we wanted to undertake, the first major one. And moving on, it will be a continuous process of allocation. So that shouldn't hold Kenyans back. They should be able to get on board, just go to the Boma Yangu portal, look at the projects that are on the site, and then apply for a unit. Yes.
Matters allocation of these houses. How many units can one own?
You can only own 1 unit. So in terms of eligibility for a home, as a Kenyan comes on to the portal, you can own a home if you're a Kenyan, of course, who has attained 18 years and therefore you have an ID. You must have a valid, you must have a KRA PIN and a valid TCC. Because remember, these houses are being built through the levy. Okay, so and everyone is eligible for a house as long as you're meeting those conditions. So it's only fair that if you're meeting those conditions and you're a taxpayer, then you can be able to access a home. Okay, so once you have those, and of course the TCC ensures or assures that you are also a payer of the levy. And the levy is being paid by everyone who has an income, whether salaried or non-salaried, then you can come on board and apply for a home. Okay, and once you apply, your ID is blacked out from the system, such that it's only one person who can access, one ID, one home. You can only access or benefit from the program once.
What happens to, let's say, a couple? I have an ID as the husband, the wife has an ID as a wife. So I get a unit.
Yes.
Is my wife eligible to get a unit?
She's a Kenyan with an ID. Yes, she does.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, you've said also that there's an uptick or the oversubscription to 2 and 3 bedroom units. Is that going to inform future projects on affordable housing?
Yes, we are using the data or the patterns that we are noticing from this first number of units that we are putting out for sale to help us in terms of our designs, improvement, and also just looking at what is in demand. You know, you might now moving forward be able to do more 2 and 3 bedrooms, maybe a lesser, because there's a mix that we usually look at, whereby you have, let's say, like studios. Maybe you have social housing, about 20%. We have affordable 50%, and we have others we're calling market at 30%. So what the findings we have from this sales process and the interest that is expressed by Kenyans will definitely help us in terms of realigning our design principles.
Is there a role for the county governments in all this?
Yes. Quite a number of the projects that we're implementing right now, they are being done on county government land. Okay, so all projects right now are on county or national government land. And remember, county also are owners of quite a number of acres or parcels of land across the country. So most of those, quite a number of the projects that we're undertaking are on county government land. Remember, they're still the ones who will give approvals for the projects and so on. They are key partner, and at the same time, they're also one of the implementing agencies under the Act for this program. So they are huge players in this. And then there's also county affordable housing committees, which were established by the Act and have been set up within the counties to just help in terms of supporting this program in terms of its implementation. So the county is playing quite a huge role in terms of implementation of the affordable housing program.
Is there a way that the applicants can get more information to begin now the application process?
Yes, we are carrying out quite a number of drives across the country and a lot of communication initiatives. Especially starting from next week, we'll have drives across the 488 units, the counties where they are in, and I'll be able to talk about that slightly later. But at the same time, we do have communication lines that members of the public can be able to reach us where they're having or facing any difficulties. We have inquiries at bomayangu.go.ke. As an email, we do have 0700 382 382 and 0739 832 832 and 0700 832 832 as numbers that they can call. At the same time, we're also partnering with Huduma Kenya. We do have Huduma Kenya desks that are fully for affordable housing program support across 57 of their centers. So where you're having challenges, you can walk to a Huduma center that is near you for that information, or you can reach the numbers that I've just mentioned, or write us an email.
Yes.
Yes.
So Kenyans should not be prey to people who come and say, I can help you get affordable housing.
No.
They should go through the portal?
Through the portal. Everything around allocation and application for a unit is on the portal, bomayangu.go.ke. So where you have any Kenyan coming and promising you they'll help you or anything of that sort to get a house, please do not engage.
Yes. Some people can be crafty and take advantage of this. Indeed. Remember that you can be part of this conversation by sending us your SMS, WhatsApp message. That is on 0716 10 3301, 0716 10 3301, and sure, we will sample some of your comments and question as the show progresses. Let's talk about the sensitization drive. What is the goal of this drive?
So the goal of the drive, remember I told you we have some units we've put out for sale. We have realized, some units have more interest than others. Of course, as I've mentioned, 2-3 bedrooms. But the units that are out there for sale include studios. There are 1 beds, there are 2 beds, there are 3 bedrooms of different sizes, and they're across the entire country. They're across 17 or 18 counties. And the main goal is just to be able to rally more interest into these projects and to be able to give clearer information regarding how to access, how to apply. We've also realized as we are progressing is that some Kenyans think that by declaring maybe less income, you're at a better place of, getting a house. Or if you declare more than you actually earn, then you're at a better place. So just being out there is, the main purpose is to be able to give information and to guide Kenyans on ensuring that they do proper applications, to know where these projects are, to know the finer details regarding the projects, what are the sizes of the units, how much are they going for. We also plan to have open days in all those projects. You're able to come in, you're able to walk around, visit the site houses, the show houses, and therefore it just enables Kenyans to actually get in. Something that you're seeing, you're able to believe better. You may know that, yes, I'm in Murang'a, there is a project here called Mackenzie. but you're seeing it from external. Here we're giving you an opportunity to walk in, see how the house looks like, how the rooms are sized, what amenities are there. All our houses, of course, will be connected to power, water. They have Wi-Fi. Some of them have gas reticulation. We plan all of them to have gas reticulation over time. Just being able to see this and how probably the blocks, how they are spaced. You're able to see the green areas where your kids would be. What other facilities are there? Are there ECD centers? Are there health facilities? Some have some social facilities, could be gyms, could be a health club. Some of them have swimming pools, So just getting that opportunity to see will be an eye-opener for Kenyans. So that is the main purpose, and we'll be going around the country. We are starting with Central and Eastern next week, and then we progress to the other counties.
Maybe it would be also best to touch on eligibility once again.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you talk about eligibility, you must be a Kenyan, 18 years of age, and therefore above 18.
Yes.
And therefore you have a Kenyan ID. You must have a KRA PIN, and you must have a valid TCC. Okay, so all that information will be part of the application form that you fill for allocation of a unit, including additional information of your living conditions. I mentioned about your income. You indicate if you're living with any disabilities, which helps us in terms of allocation of a unit that is more suitable for you, and more data that will be asked within the application form. But once you have that, then you're eligible. Yes. And as I mentioned, you can apply as long as you're a Kenyan with some income. Yes. There are the 3 categories that you can apply for a house in line with those categories, So initially people thought that, if I'm earning above 150,000, I cannot be able to access a house. Or if I'm earning below 20, I cannot be able to access a house. But that's a fallacy. Everybody can be able to access a house.
But also your income determines the kind of a house you'll get?
Yes, because when you talk about social category, we have persons who are earning below 20,000. Remember, even normally as you go to look for a house, your income determines, because ideally you should have about 30% of your income available for housing. So that will determine the kind of a house that is available to you, And we ensured that people are applying within their income brackets, so that there isn't unfair competition within those categories, Have someone who's earning 150, but they want a bed sitter that they can be able to rent out for business or something of that sort. Yet there's someone who's earning 20 and cannot afford any of the houses, of the other categories. They can only afford within the social category. Yet you've come and taken up that opportunity from them. So that's why we ensure that people are able to apply for houses just within their category, income category.
And that will enhance transparency and fairness of the program?
Yes, it will, because everything, as I mentioned, is automated. Everything is happening on the portal, right from registration all the way to allocation. Even the offer letter, you still get it off from the portal, so that it's a fully open, transparent, and auditable, process.
All right. Now, for this sensitization drive, what specific counties are you targeting?
Okay. Yes. Allow me to just mention them. As I mentioned, we'll start from Central and Eastern. That is next week. We'll be covering this. We'll be covering these counties week by week. I mean the various regions. Yes. So, just a minute. So we do have Central and Eastern region. We'll be covering Kirinyaga County, Murang'a, Nyandarua, Embu, Machakos, and Laikipia next week from 14th to 18th. And followed by Nyanza Circuit, where we'll cover Homa Bay and Migori. We have projects among the 488. Then we'll follow with Nakuru, Bomet, Nandi, and Uasin Gishu. That is from 28th April to 3rd May. And all these activations will have week-long activations and an open day where Kenyans are able to get into the projects and see these houses. And then we'll follow with the Western Circuit from 5th May to 10th May. That's Kakamega and Vihiga. the northern and upper eastern circuit. We have Isiolo and Wajir, and then we come back to the Nairobi metropolitan. Here is Kiambu and Machakos, where we have ongoing projects. Yes.
What type of housing units are available in those areas, especially in areas that you have mentioned in central and eastern regions?
Okay, so for all the projects, and these are the projects that we are targeting to complete by June of 2025, these are the ones that I have mentioned. All projects, and even those ones are beyond these 4,888, we do have, the houses have studios, they have 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, and 3 bedrooms of various sizes. So studios mostly around 20 square meters. We have 1 bedrooms of 40 square meters, 2 bedrooms of 60 square meters, and 3 bedrooms of 80 square meters. And the affordable housing program has standardized its design and build principles. So you'll find that where we have in each site houses or the housing units come in blocks. So you have block 1 and the first block would have social and affordable housing. The second one has affordable and affordable middle class. But they all have studios. They have 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, and 3 bedrooms. And you'll find our studios, all of them have very low cost compared to what is within the market. So you'll find the studios begin at 640,000. You'll have our 1 bedrooms around 1.5 million. 2 bedrooms around 2 million, and 3 bedrooms around 3 million. So if you look at those rates and what is in the market, they are quite affordable.
And the payment period?
So the payment period, I mentioned that there are 3 ways of owning these houses. You can come on cash, through cash purchase. You can get affordable home financing for the same at 3%, 6%, and 9%. And this is over a tenure of 30 years. Or you can come through tenant purchase scheme, which is also over 30 years. Yes.
All right. Now, how are you enhancing this outreach to make sure that more people get on board and also they get to know how to go about it? Yes.
So we have launched various initiatives, and we are still continuing to do the same. Because remember, this program has been ongoing, but majorly around construction. This is the first time we are undertaking allocation, and people have not known about now the process. So we have been, and over time, probably you've also received some, we've been having some SMS blasts out to Kenyans, just to be able to inform you that there are these projects, log on, this is how you get onto bomayangu.co.ke. These are the numbers that we communicate through. We do have, as I've mentioned, we have ground activations and open days that we have been undertaking and continue to do so.
Yes.
We've also been going, of course, working with the media closely, just to be able to get the various stories and information out. As you've seen, we've also covered quite a number of stories on how Kenyans have benefited just beyond home ownership. There are other aspects of the program, including, jobs, including stimulation of the economy, people who have benefited either by owning homes through the previous program. We've also covered people who are anticipating to own homes and how this home ownership will be able to get them, good opportunities, homes that they can afford, accessibility if they're persons with disability, and so on. And we continue to also still continue engaging with the media to help us in doing the same. Drives, as I've mentioned, ground activations and the open days.
Mtu anauliza kama hizo nyumba zitakuwa na maji ya borehole ama maji itakuwa inalipiwa.
Najua hata maji ya borehole tunalipianga pia. So all our projects are being connected. One, where there is trunk facilities, like trunk sewer, water through the various water agencies, of course Kenya Power for electricity and so on. We connect to the existing infrastructure. And where that lacks, because you find like some of the areas that we are building, sometimes they don't have the trunk infrastructure in place, then we undertake development. They are part of our design. So if there is no sewer, we're able to do septic tanks. If there is no water, we're able to do boreholes. But of course, all that will be metered and will be paid for. Yes.
Now, after central and eastern regions, what areas, other areas are you targeting in the next sensitization drive for this allocation?
As I've mentioned, we'll go through all the regions. We shall go through eastern region. We have Nyanza region, Rift Valley. We have western. We have northern and upper eastern. And then eventually we'll come back to the what we call the Nairobi metropolitan area. Yes.
Let's finish with this. Is the housing, affordable housing, the magic wand to solve the Kenya's housing problem?
I feel to a very large percentage, yes. Remember, housing is a right, constitutional right. So it is the responsibility of government to enable Kenyans to have homes, yes? And the right has been there for quite some time. The Constitution came to be in 2010. But this is the first time that this program has really picked up to be able to achieve this, you know. And to be able to achieve 1 million homes where we haven't been doing so over 5 years, it's quite a major feat. And we have found the, you know, will I say, the right mix in terms of financing, in terms of the expertise that is there in the built environment, in terms of the lessons from countries that have done this before. So I feel this is actually it is the magic wand to be able to deliver this to Kenyans and to be able to set a precedence even moving forward in terms of delivery of homes and this right to Kenyans.
Yes. Now let's go back to those numbers. You can give them once again so that Kenyans are aware of where to look for.
So you can call 0700-832-832 or you can call 0739-832-832 or you can email us on enquiries@bomayangu.go.ke. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
for making time to come and talk about this affordable housing program.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, karibu sana. That is Ms. Sheila Waweru, who is the CEO of Affordable Housing Board, talking to us about the allocation of the housing project and the sensitization that is coming up in Central and Eastern region. This is where we end this conversation. But don't go too far. Good Morning Kenya continues shortly with Vivian Ndegwa, and the question of the day is, would you marry someone who loves you or someone that you love? That is a conversation that is coming up next in just a few. Stay with us.
Pindi tunapowasha vifaa vyetu, tunapata fursa ya kutangamana na wasikilizaji wetu.
Karibu sana thĩinĩ wa tabarĩra ya Rwiga.
Tunapeperusha utangazaji uliobobea katika habari,
nĩ ũndũ wa macio na mangĩ maingĩ,
burudani,
haha nĩ harĩa tũkoragwo tũkĩigua nyĩmbo mwaki nyĩmbo hot
na hamasisho la kiroho. Usiachwe nyuma. Jiunge nasi kwa safari ya kufana katika 99.5 FM. Soro FM.
Mambo.
Bodela.
Patie mandazi nikauze.
Uli, mandazi iko wapi?
Wewe. Hii ni 10. Na iko na nyama ndani.
Hapa food polite manzi, hapa na unatuma mambo yenyu tu hapa hivi iko polite manzi. Marada hapa.
Malandazi yalitoka na last government.
Ati nikanje food 390. Hii nijikute nijichune.
Finally.
Kwenda toka hapa. Kwenda kabisa.
Saidia nitapotea maji.
Wewe, hebu simama hapa. Ngoja nikushike.
Kenya's real estate market is evolving, with over 77% of rental properties being flats and apartments and an impressive 88.8% occupancy rate. The demand for housing has never been higher. But what's driving these trends, and how do regional disparities shape rental prices and investment opportunities?
I think a lot has brought growth into the Kenyan real estate sector over the past few years. I think there's been steady growth since 2016. 2016 was, I think, the year when there was the best performance in the real estate sector. A lot of this has been brought by infrastructural development. The government has been willing to spend on roads and power and water. These things, of course, make it for a very suitable market for real estate to grow as well, because it's very hard to come up with something where there's no access to it. You see, the Kenyan market is designed in such a way that the Chinese are here, the Turkish are here, they're developing, European countries are here. I think some of our infrastructural projects are even funded by Spain. So the ease of accessing the Kenyan market, even Arab markets are here, and also the ease of finance that has been there for quite some while.
According to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics Real Estate Survey of 2023-2024, flats and apartments now dominate Kenya's rental market, making up 77.1% of all properties. In Nairobi, this trend is even more pronounced, with 66.7% of all rentals being apartments. But why?
I think it's because of the demographics of the Kenyan population. The census that was done most recently showed that most of us are youth. Even here, most of us are the youth. So we have our families, they are growing. So you want to bring up your family in a comfortable unit. The most comfortable unit for that is a 3-bedroom, because it allows you to have the master bedroom, it allows you to have the kids' bedroom and a spare bedroom, maybe for visitors, the house manager, and everyone else. I think also the growth of the 3-bedroom units, has been around the suburbs, where we are having master planned estates coming up. So with that master planning, when you do a survey, before as a developer, when you do a survey and you see where there is a gap, then you see there's a gap in the 3-bedroom where you want to cater for a family. And you'll see that also for a family, when I'm buying a unit for my family, I'm willing to also get a mortgage for it. So with the growth of the KMRC sector, the Kenya Mortgaging Refinancing Institution, and the circles giving these mortgage loans, then it's a sweet blend where the 3-bedroom is very affordable and marketable and also very attractive, because we are a young population. We want something we can have our family growing comfortably, and there is finance that you can access for that.
Despite high rental costs, demand remains strong. For instance, in 2023, 88.8% of rental properties were leased, a clear indicator of Kenya's housing shortage.
I think it's a broad issue. First of all, I would start with the way the market started. A lot of what is done in the residential market is off-plan sales. And there's been a lot of fraudulent activities. So people are hesitant to invest before you see the unit. Yeah? So you'll hold your breath. You'll see there's maybe a development coming somewhere. Then you'll tell yourself, let me come next month to see whether they've grown and to see whether they've delivered. I can also say that because of the impact 2024 has had on our pockets as Kenyans, I know there was a report done that said that Kenyans are willing to spend more on a smaller unit so long as it's affordable and gives them access to amenities, closer access to work, such that they just want the unit in a place that's accessible than where they can get. Like maybe you travel longer to get to your 3-bedroom unit.
Not all rentals cost the same. A 1-bedroom bungalow rents for as low as 15,000 shillings, while a 4-bedroom bungalow can go as high as 170,000 shillings. Townhouses in particular attract premium prices of up to 120,000 for a 2-bedroom unit.
For the buyer, it's more than just the unit. So even though they are buying it for investment and not even to live in, they will then check, where is this I'm buying? Let's say if I'm a buyer and I want to buy a unit for an Airbnb. So if it's like a 2-bedroom, I want it closest to the market I'm targeting. So I'll go closer to the market than further away. So maybe if there's a 2-bedroom that's bigger, but it's further away from the market I'm targeting, I will still angle towards the one that's closer, just because it brings people easily to your apartment, you know. So there are a lot of factors that people consider. And when you're looking at something like a 3-bedroom unit, it's a family unit. It's wholly a family unit. You don't buy a 3-bedroom unit, then use it as an Airbnb. It's very complicated to do that because of even the space, yeah? So it's something someone has to make an emotional decision about. And when they're making that emotional decision, they have to consider their family, their work, everything has to be considered, and overall the affordability of the unit, yeah.
For investors, rental yields matter. Bedsitters and studio apartments record the lowest yield at just 2.2%, while 2-bedroom townhouses lead with 8.3%. With economic trends, demographic shifts, and regional disparities shaping the market, what does the future hold?
The real estate sector is a good opportunity for growth, either as a developer or an investor. And I think it's something that even the young people should be willing to pick up. You can start as small as with a studio. So it's something that I think it's a sector that's growing, and because it's a basic need, housing is a basic need at the end of the day. You can't live without a house. So it offers many opportunities, whichever angle you want to come in from. You want to be a property manager, there's a lot to manage. You want to be a developer, there are so many ways of being a developer nowadays. You can even just buy stake into a development company and be a developer yourself.
From high-rise apartments to luxurious townhouses, Kenya's rental landscape continues to evolve. For tenants, landlords, and investors, understanding these changes is the key to making informed decisions in an ever-growing market.
And it is time for Family Check. Thank you for staying with us. Today's conversation, as I had mentioned at the very beginning of the program, is on love. But specifically, our question is, would you marry the person you love or the one that loves you? Which is which, the one you love or the one that loves you? This should be an interesting conversation. And my panelists are here. We have from the very far right, we have Pastor Paul Blessing. Pastor Paul is the director, Star with Paul. Welcome to the show, Paul.
Thank you.
All right. And then we also have Nelly Mutai. Nelly Mutai is a multimedia creative and actress. Welcome to the show, Nelly.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so we're going to be having this very interesting conversation. Do you marry the one that you love or the one that loves you? And how does that look like? Like, what is the dynamic of all of this? Maybe we may just begin by defining what exactly love is in the perspective of a long-term partnership or relationship. Let's start with you, Nelly.
For me, love is not only like the emotional part where, you know, you're being loved. Mine is more of a commitment, consistency, responsibility, like someone who cares for you as a whole. Yeah.
That's what love is
to me.
All right, Paul, what exactly is love? What does it look like?
Okay. Thank you for having me. Love is our statement. But that is now when it comes to marriage. I think on our platform, we are talking particularly about marriage. Because there is love that is just a relationship which is not getting to marriage. But here we are talking, do you marry the person you love? So according to me, love in marriage is something that has to have a mutual commitment to each other, a feeling, because 1,000 women will pass through before a man. But something in his heart or her heart will be attached to a particular person, not many, one. And that's what draws you to become this your life partner, because you're talking about marriage. Sometimes you may get into the wrong person because of how you did it. Maybe you looked at the one who is able to help you, is going to carry you along, but maybe their motive was wrong, or they were not ready for it. But true love, I just believe that, for me, that it should be mutual. Maybe I love him more, or he loves me more, then they'll be like, I didn't like it. You were the one who came in. That's my perspective.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be mutual.
Okay, yeah, well, in the perfect world, it's supposed to be mutual, right? You're supposed to love each other. I love you, you love me. But now, there's what you are saying, this one loves the other more, or, so where would you want to fall? Whereby you are the one who loves this person more, or this person loves you more?
I would believe in mutual. I don't want to go anywhere. I believe in mutual. I believe in mutual. I want it to be the same way. Yeah. I don't want that someone loves the other, because they'll along the way, someone will see that this is not me. Yeah. Because if maybe there's a reason why should he love me more than I love him? Why should he love me more than I love him? Because in marriage there's giving and taking. Okay. Yeah. There must be trust, which is very expensive. To give someone your trust. Yeah. We have thought about getting into a matatu or an aircraft, and you sit comfortably. You believe this person went to school, knows what they are doing. Yeah. So you are giving your life to someone. I trust that I'm stated. I belong. You give your name. You give children. You should love and trust. You see? But if it is him who loves only, or you love only, there'll be a question mark along. I remain on mutual.
Okay.
That's me.
All right. Well, we've been joined by a gentleman here, Dan. We have Duncan Juma, who is a life coach, and he's here with us. Dan, karibu.
Asante sana.
How are you doing this morning?
Great, I'm feeling great.
All right, so we started off by defining what exactly love is in the long run. What does that look like?
I think, of course, love in itself has many corners to it. They say there's love for your parents, that's different from love for animals and things. Then there's the love for the one you love. So I'm told there's different categories. But I think in the context of relationships, it's then what they call the eros, which is the love that then leads to people being together in a union and of sorts. Yeah. But in the nitty-gritties of what really love is, I think it's affection. It has many colors. Yeah, there are people we love, and then we don't like, and then there are others we like.
Ooh, there's one you can love someone and not like them.
And actually feel liking is bigger and weightier. Yeah, I have relatives of mine that I love, but I don't like.
You don't like them. Oh wow. Okay.
Define more.
So you can find yourself in a marriage where this man loves you, but they don't really like you, or this woman loves you, but they don't really like
you. Which part?
Exactly
what they love and what they like. Can you?
It is true. All those are faces. Sometimes you love what you saw, then what met the eye is not what meets the nose or anything else, and then you change. So there are different categories to it. Or sometimes you meet someone somewhere, you like them, then you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh God, of all creation, bless this our land and nation. So and then sometimes you can also grow into liking someone when you start discovering that there are corners about their lives that you didn't know. Or you met them when they didn't have money and you didn't like them much, then they started cleaning up and you started liking them. So there are many parameters to all these mix.
Remember, you can also get to join in this conversation. You can send your messages, WhatsApp messages, or you can call in live. Our numbers will be open within no time. The number is 0716 103 301. 0716 103 301. You can send in your WhatsApp message or call in live once the lines are open. Now, Nelly, would you rather someone who loves you or you love them?
So as you said earlier, in the perfect world, it will be nice if you meet a person you love and they love you equally. But in the practical world, that might not be the case. So as per the question, I would choose over and over again a man that loves me more than a man that I love.
Even if you do not love them at all?
I'm very okay with that. This is because I feel as an individual, I can grow to love a person who loves me. First of all, a man who loves you is just everything a woman needs. A man who loves you will provide for you, will care for you, will show you affection. And for me, those are my needs.
Yeah.
So as long as my needs are met, why will I not love the person? Eventually, with time.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I want to hear from the man. Would you rather someone that loves you or you love them?
I think I would rather someone that I love.
Someone that you love.
Everyone has their size.
Okay.
Everyone has their liking and all that. I would rather maybe win them over to like me than go into this arrangement thinking that it's them who have an affection over me and maybe now I will learn. I think it's very clear. It's me who needs to love and then win her over. I would rather any day someone that I love, I can, and of course, this affects all men. We burn our bridges, we feel bad after some time when you realize they didn't love you in the first place. They loved your things and not you.
Yeah.
But I would rather, that's what I'm paying for, as opposed to, I don't like you at all, you're the one who is head over heels for me. I don't think that even works in the real world. Yeah. But again, to be fair to her, nowadays women say they love what a man can do, a woman can do, but then when they describe, you realize they actually want a traditional man, a guy who can provide and all that. So anyway, we are here now.
We only want that gender role to be at a certain point, you know, like, yes, what a man can do, a woman can do, but then when it comes to the gender roles, there's where we are drawing the line.
I can quote someone, and it's not me, I'm just quoting them. They say women grow faster in all spheres of life except financially than a man. So again, there we are.
Okay, now Pal, there's the issue of dating potential, right? So for example, like he said, he would rather someone that they love. Yeye anampenda, but the lady not really. So does that mean you're dating potential? You're dating this person for marriage, but you're hoping, I hope that they're gonna love me eventually. You know, that's the dating of potential. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's look at exactly what is the role of a man in a love situation. Even the Bible says man should love and the woman should respect. And that respect automatically comes when you love. And of course the love will come when you respect. So it will be automatic. But now, as you said, a dating potential. Let's say you are dating someone, because by these things what we are talking about, we should discover during the dating period whether this person loves you or not, what they love, what they don't love. Because in any relationship, let me tell you, the most important thing in your life is your destiny, your blueprint. Even maybe someone loves you, but according to their destiny, they're supposed to go this way. And according to you, you should go to this way. So because he loves you, you are bound by that love, then you will not go anywhere. Either they will pull you to their side or you will pull each other, never go anywhere. So usually in every marriage, in a relationship of marriage, I think, also during dating period, it's good to understand what are my values, what is my vision. Can we really go together? Because they will either kill your destiny or make you if you are not. So this dating potential you are talking about is how do we discover what we want in life, in future? Because the love thing is what bonds us together, trust, and of course security and all that. But during this time, what am I discovering? This person, apart from loving and protecting and even providing for me, everybody has a blueprint. Are you watching your blueprint? Can he carry that thing along? Or will it crash it down? That's my thought. Yes.
Nelly, since you're very strong on you'd rather someone that loves you over and over, like you wouldn't even think about it, right? But now, do you at least have some admiration for this person? Because I'm imagining this is someone who's coming to you. They love you. They are promising you the world in terms of the love they give to you. But do you want to tell me you're just going to get in even if you feel nothing completely, not even admiration, not nothing?
So this is the situation. Getting married is not always just, love is just one factor. There are so many things you're looking into. You get? So for you to get into that point that you want to marry this person, as she said, values should align, long-term goals should align. Like you people should have one vision. Like, do you all want to have children, religion, where we're going to stay? All those factors should be on the table. You know what we said last week? Like, these are conversations you should have during the dating time. So all those things, all those factors, zikotik, it's only love. I'm getting married.
Yeah.
Yes.
You grow.
I will
You
grow into
grow.
loving that person. A person who loves me, I will grow to love. As a woman, I feel like as a woman, or women generally, we are nurturers. We get to love children we have not even seen in the stomach.
Sure.
A man I will love.
Yeah. So actually what Nelly is saying is what you were talking about. You know, for you, as long as you love them, you don't really care if they love you or not. So from what she's saying, is that exactly what you're talking about?
Yeah, I think just on emphasis, and I think we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Many times, from a man's perspective, in fact, if a woman tells you I love you, we don't know what you're saying. Maybe you're saying you love my car and all that. I mean, look at how, if there's a quote where they say, if you're poor and you're speaking in a family function, then they almost want you to finish because you are becoming a nuisance. But you can be speaking gibberish and nonsense because you can buy your space. And in that sense, for men, even our interpretation of love is sort of from the respect levels that you get from this woman. That's why if you're dating, for example, you mentioned it earlier, if you don't feel this lady is respecting you, there's a chance that even when she crosses over, she won't respect you and all that. So our interpretation of love is not even what ladies look at in that sense. I mean, how many times have you met Beauty and the Beast? Women will tell you, oh, tall, dark and handsome. Then you find some guy who has a very personalized face and God is using him in very many ways. And you look at the wife and you're wondering, and then you look at yourself, you're like, hey, this world's
how did this one bag this woman?
Yeah, like, you know, so to the most for a man is you interpret respect that you get as love. She can sing all she wants and say, I love you, good night, buju, buju, whatever. But if you're not reading it as respect, think of it this way, scenarios. If my wife, for example, talks to me badly in front of my relatives in the village, there's a chance there will be no peace in Nairobi. Because there is a sense in which that interpretation of what I feel as respect. That's why people say, if someone meets you and you guys were in the middle of a fight, there are basic rules around how we de-escalate whatever was happening in the house, put on a facade or a page that says we are okay here, you're the guys who are wrong, then after that we can pick it up from there. But respect to a man is the ultimate measure of what we call as love. However, men express love through their giving, through their protecting, and even from marriage. Okay, let me say something controversial. I feel like marriage has some meaning in the world of women, but I don't know because I'm not one of them. But I think for men, it gives us value, it gives us purpose. A man says, I'm providing for my family. It gives them a chance to even go and work out. I don't think if a woman says, I'm providing for my family, it has any meaning in her world. Maybe it does, but for a man, you can go and die for some bigger cause, and marriage gives you stability and all that. Because of that, then you express your love, not necessarily because of what you're saying. Of course, society is forcing us to say, I love you every day. And you're like, one currency should work anyway. So what I'm trying to emphasize on is then as a man, the expression of love comes through the things you do, or you desire to do.
Actually, one of my directors is asking the question, you know, from what you've said, does it mean that a man who is not providing, a man who is not giving you money and all that, clearly does not love you?
No, I think that's how women interpret the world. There's a guy called Crazy Kena who did a small video where he was showing how women look at a man who is not providing, and they were showing a picture of like a sheep or like a goat. There's a way we are weighed by what you bring on the table. Unfortunately, love in its pure form without giving is interpreted as not love to the most, at least from the men's perspective. And that's why if a man doesn't have, sometimes it becomes very complicated. And even think of a man who doesn't have money but is available to cut onions with you. You can only, you know, tolerate him in that space for a while. Then you're like, mbona huko kawa na mwenzako, you know? So because that's not really our space. Even when they say a wife sometimes can just buy one tomato for you because you missed to buy, and then she says she's bought the world for you, she's paid rent and all that. So
feeding you.
And I think also, to be fair to women, I don't think women are cut out to provide for a man in the long haul. They can help temporarily, they can help for a month or two, but as a man, you need to also make effort to look like you're also reciprocating. Unfortunately, and I say something as controversial, if a woman sabotages what a man is supposed to do, like you pay rent for a man, what happens is you sabotage his risk-reward system, sort of. He's likely to even get the money that you gave him to support someone else who feels like they're reciprocating.
Okay.
So,
okay, let's take a break on that note, and then we'll come back and pick it up from there. We're taking a break. Remember, you can get to talk to us. The number is 0716 103 301. Don't go too far. We'll be back in a moment.
Wellness is important in our daily lives so that instead of just surviving, we should be thriving.
Ways to prevent a stroke or heart attack is for you to know what conditions you have. By regular checkup, people don't know they have hypertension, they don't know they have diabetes.
I was pre-diabetic. I was afraid of getting lifestyle diseases because I come from a family that has lifestyle diseases.
How do you know if your cough is due to a serious condition? We'll have some answers. Stay well
and strive to make every day a healthy day.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday from 10 p.m. and a rerun every Tuesday from 2 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
And we are back. Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. I want us to start from where we had left from. And it was, Dan, you had said that, when a woman provides for the man, it gets to a point where now this man will kind of feel inferior or something, and will actually be taking this small money that he has to go finance someone else. And I would love for you to jump into that, Pal. Like, what exactly is that?
But I didn't say the inferior part.
No, you did say.
What is that?
I'll deal with that. I'll deal with the inferiority.
Yeah.
Just leave it to me.
Okay.
Just stay there.
He doesn't want to admit. All right.
This is what happens. A man by nature is supposed to be the head and the woman the neck. It happens that maybe something happened and financially it's not stable. And you look at this, it's our family. So what we have, let's put on the table and use it. However, that woman who tried to be submissive and give out this money, even the man to manage, he still feels not a man enough.
Because
when
he's
not the one provide. That's the nature of a man. So what he will do along the way, he may even become bitter and look for ways even to accuse the woman for no reason. Or you find he has now started finding someone who can submit with the small that he will take out of this. And he will play around, he will get married to that particular person. Though you are giving out everything. There's another one that is very comfortable to be fed. They have the inferiority inside them, but they won't show it because they don't want to work, they don't want commitment, they want to be given everything, okay? But naturally, a man is supposed to be the provider. And I don't say women who provide are doing the wrong thing. It is how you place it and according to what is on the table. If the man that doesn't have, it's okay. But you be careful. I'm not saying that you go and start searching. It happens because of the ego in him. it's just like when it comes to like dating we were talking about. To know that you know someone, make sure you see them at the highest peak of their anger and the highest peak of happiness. Otherwise, you don't know them. Because that will give you how they behave on their high and their lows.
On their low.
Yeah. And that's what that's what I thought for now.
Yeah. Nelly, what do you think about that? You know,
I'm really learning right now.
Yeah.
Like I have never thought it the way Dad put it. But either way, I feel like when you provide for a man, it should be like the helping kind. Like maybe something has happened. If you guys are living together, his job is not working out, you can help for a while. But like the full time providing, like entirely, that dynamic does not work for me. Though I have seen it. Now it's the modern time. Then, sometimes you get married to a woman who earns way more than you. So I've seen it working for other people. But I've never thought it makes the man feel less, or then they might take the money and go provide for someone else so that they feel good about themselves. I have never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
But
how much is a while?
A while?
How long? Not much. That money.
How long is a while?
2 weeks. The person who's dating me is like, how long?
Let me quick in.
A while is a while.
Let me say something. I think you ladies are saying the right thing, but with very wrong nuance.
Words.
Yeah. I didn't say
inferiority.
Man is inferior. There's not. I mean, we must also have a group of men representing us where you're being fed. Like there has to be someone. The world has to be balanced.
Yeah.
So the problem mostly is not even a woman is earning more or providing for you. It's how they rub that into the man. Like, there's a way if a woman is more successful, or there's a way some rub that the wrong way. Even a man may not want to work with her, because then, you've heard of women saying, let me go meet my fellow woman in the house and stuff like that. And it's not in a derogatory way, but, remember, for a relationship to work, you guys must work as a team.
Yeah.
And to a man, I mentioned about respect and all that, but they say in a man there's almost 2 categories. There's the lion and the fool. And you get the one you speak to every day. So if you tell him, naona hii nyumba hata hatujakula nyama for some time, hata hiyo siku hamtakula nyama, because you spoke to the full side of this guy. But if you say kuna kitu unaniambia leo nikaa nitakula nyama, that guy can even go and steal for you, because then you're speaking to the right
to the lion now.
Yeah, and that's the support. And Madam said men are head, then women the neck. I don't know where women got this neck thing. When you talk about head, we talk about leadership.
It's about leadership.
No matter how powerful a lot of women are, they still look forward to some level of order, semblance of direction, and that's what the man should provide. And sometimes maybe for that economic season, the only thing he's brought is his head, giving you direction for where that money should go. But I'm just saying. So we must get to a place where also we appreciate that how you rub that success that you have or leverage over the man also counts in terms of making him feel respected or feel honored or loved.
All right. I want us to get back to our conversation, which was, do you love, would you marry the person that you love or the one that you do not love, right? And my take would be, just to get also my opinion on this, mine would be, I would rather someone who loves me more than I love them. But that is not entirely what it is, because at the end of the day, love is not enough. I don't know if you feel like love is enough, but love is not really enough. You need to look at the values. Are they aligning? Are your values aligning? Do your goals align? The lifestyle compatibility, does it align? There's a lot to it.
So
even the spiritual part of it.
At what point do you look at that?
At what point do I look at that? When you're
dating. When you're dating.
I mean, that's the whole point of dating. You date so that you know.
But they come to reveal themselves later after dating.
I don't know which world you ladies live in, but dating is such a small window. Let me think about Nairobi. You're meeting in the restaurants, you're dressing up for the occasion. That's what you call dating. You're praising which hotel gives you the best fries and all that. You rarely get to know this person. I like what you say. The highs and the lows of the getting to know this person has to be different to context. But you met me when I was just from college.
Yeah.
You've not met me when my bank has millions. I'm a totally different animal. And it's about now maybe looking at very early values that then speak to maybe this guy will not change, or this guy has some level of support system that has anchored him to be solid, to maybe not change when circumstances change and all that. So dating in itself is such a limited version of getting to know someone. Because what do you do during dating? You put your best foot forward.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen someone got married, then they discover 10 years down the line that she had another baby and all that? Like, you didn't know.
You didn't know.
If anything, how many of us can tell the too much truth during dating season so that you lose them?
Yeah.
So capacity to build, I feel like it's just about, if you align on the values, get to know what is working. You know, you'll always see something that may not work, but what is working, I think that you can ride on. But to answer your question directly again, I still feel it's important for me as a man to be the one who shows my love to you, and I appreciate you, because men look forward to coming back home to something, to someone. There's a joy. I don't have to ask myself, when I go home, do I first of all massage the door or massage the person in there? It has...
Or wait until 10 before you come and knock the door, whether it will be opened.
Yeah. Remember, our lines are now open. You can get to call us live. You can call in live and get to give us your opinion, or if you have a question on what we are talking about. The number is 0716 103 301. The lines are officially now open. You can call and give us your opinion. Would you marry the one you love or the one that loves you? There's a message that has come in. Let me just, okay, here we are. This one has written a long one. Okay, let me see. Dennis Nambale from Voi. First, you need to understand that love and marriage is overrated. That's how he starts his statement. Love and marriage is overrated. What most people view as love is actually not love, but just chemical reaction that has a short lifespan for some long time. That's why you hear, I don't love him anymore. Love is actually sacrifice. It's about overlooking the shortcomings of the other person, always putting them above you first, never judging them. The Bible says, no greater love than this, that a man lays down his life for his friend. That's what God is about. He is love. We messed up, but still he sacrificed himself so that we can still be able to get to him no matter what. Okay, it's really long. So do not marry for love. Marry for purpose and with understanding, because with all else, when all else fails, the purpose and understanding will pull you through. Yeah.
I kind of almost coming, I think the guys are pulling me to accept that a man should love. Yeah. I think they're putting it in a way that now I can see it.
Yeah.
Okay, mainly I believe purpose should be key. Because if you...
Okay, let's take that first call. We have James Martin from Embu. James, if you can hear me, good morning. And which side are you on? Do you need to marry someone that loves you or the one that you love? James. Hello, good morning, James. Hello. Can you hear me?
Nakusikia.
Aya, tueleze wewe uko upande upi? The person that loves you or the one that you love?
Mimi niko upande wa Embu.
Hivi
nasema hivi. Kwa hiyo swali limeona hapa. Hello?
Yeah, nakusikia, endelea James.
Kwa hiyo swali limeona hapa, mtu anaoa yule mtu ambaye anampenda. Mwanaume anaoa yule mtu ambaye anampenda. Lakini mtu akisema ati anaoa yule mtu ambaye anapendwa, mtu anachagua yule mtu ambaye anampenda, lakini sio anachaguliwa.
Hapo wewe unazungumzia mwanamume na mwanamke, na wewe mwenyewe kama mwanamume wamtaka mtu ambaye anakupenda ama mtu ambaye wewe ndio unampenda?
Mimi nikiwa mwanaume naoa yule ambao nimechagua nampenda. Na akiwa ni mwanamke anaolewa na yule ambao anampenda pia.
Asante sana. For him, I think he's on your side. Like for a man, just marry the one that you love.
Yeah, marry your struggles. Pick your struggles.
Pick your struggles.
And deal with it.
Yeah. Our lines are open, by the way. You can also be able to send WhatsApp message. That is 0716 103 301. 0716 103 301. Do you marry the one that loves you or the one that you love? There's another message here. But how will one realize that the girl really loves me and not my position or wealth? I think that's the worry of so many men. Huh? Because a good number of girls decide to separate immediately the man gets sacked or become poor. That is Balala from Kilifi. So for him, he's wondering, like, how do I tell? Can you be able to tell someone that loves you truly? Is there a measure for that?
You know, there are people who, like I was saying from the beginning, there is a true love. That's why we say that 1,000 men you have met in your life, but someone was drawn to you. That is something that was from in. It became true love, and you can love that particular person. That person, when things go wrong, it is you take both of you as your business. Apart from the issue of the ego of the man. As we said, if a man you remove is like a fish, remove from the water, whether he has money or he has wealth or he lacks respect, it's like a fish out of water. It dies. You have seen some people who are very senior. Maybe they are bodyguards, they have everybody around them. Then they go and pick up and run. Then at home, they deliver to a woman who said, I've never seen a foolish man like you. It becomes like water which has been dropped down. Because the strength of that man, however respect he gets out, the woman in the house is very key to that man. I don't know whether you accept what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think you should preach this message to the women conferences a lot more. Especially, especially men with power. You've been worshipped out here, but when you reach home, the dynamic is different. And of course, women need to be feared. If you have a woman who can access you at so many levels, there's some level of also fear that you need. But talking about the ego of a man, really it's what exists. In fact, for a man, it's that what you guys describe as ego, but I think most time when you talk about a man and ego, you think about it negatively. For me to be in my A game...
It's the strength, according to me. The strength of a man is the ego. If someone came to me and said, I look ugly, maybe it may not bother me, but if someone came to me and said, hey, I've met handsome people, but I feel like you are...
We have a caller. Let's take Johnson. Johnson from Eldoret. Johnson, good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you?
We're very well, thank you. Thank you for calling in. Tupatie maoni yako.
Kwanza mimi nimefurahia mjadala wako. Lakini pande wangu nikiangalia vizuri, love you have to mpaka upalilie. You cannot get 100% sure yule unataka. Mwanaume ako na weakness yake. Msichana pia kuna weakness yake, mpaka mpalilie ndio muweze kupata ile line ambaye kila mmoja ataheshimu mwenzake. No matter ako na pesa ngapi, no matter bibi anafanya kazi rank gani, you just have to cultivate so that you can reach the goal. So much.
So wewe kwako wasema love inapaliliwa, yani you work on it.
Inapaliliwa.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Sasa wewe kujibu swali letu leo, unamuoa yule ambaye unampenda ama yule ambaye anakupenda, alafu sasa mjue vile mtapalilia mapenzi yenu kule mbele? Yes? Oh, we've lost him. But for him, mapenzi, you work on it.
It is progressive.
Yeah. But me, I just feel like a woman can grow to love a man, but I do not think a man can grow to love a woman. I feel like it just has to be instant. Because I feel like men do know. They know I do love this one. You know how they say men know? Like
when he knows.
He knows. Yeah. So I feel like men know. I love this woman. I want to work things out with this woman. I want to make this work. I want to commit to this woman. But a woman, if you're loved the right way, you're loved how you want to be loved, you can't grow to love a man.
Yeah.
I think I should hold forth for the men.
Love?
Don't speak on behalf of I'm here.
So do you grow to love? Can a man grow to love?
I think there are all those scenarios.
There's growth.
But we must get to understand, from a man's perspective, a man can actually subcategorize a woman. You can meet some woman like this one day, then I disappear into the bush. Because then you see the value you place on any woman.
But that's exactly what we are saying. When a man knows, they know. Like, you'll know, this one, I want her for marriage. This one, I want her for just today and tomorrow. This one, so the question is, do you grow in love?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, everyone grows in love.
Yeah.
The person you get married to is
Not
not
the
the
person
person
you live with.
who you will live with the following day.
To
Yeah.
Susan, that's my point, but in other words. Dominic, we can hear you. Good morning, Dominic.
Dominic kutoka Kenya.
Yes, Dominic, tueleze.
Mimi napenda mwenye anapenda kuliko mwenye anigesi.
You prefer mwenye anakupenda yeye.
Kuliko mwenye anipenda.
Sababu ikiwa?
Mwenye ananijisi kama nikimpenda na kwa ananipenda.
Sorry?
Mwenye ananipenda kuliko mwenye anapenda.
Sikupati vizuri, unaweza reduce the sound of your... Okay, we've lost him. Did you get exactly what he was saying? But I've got that he said he would rather the woman that loves him.
I want to say this. As he was saying, there's progression. I think a man, if you find a woman and you can see there's a potential, maybe she didn't become what she should be because something she didn't have, you can invest in her. But the main investment to a woman is loving her, of course. When you love her, she will put out whatever she was.
Yeah.
You see?
Let's get this caller before we lose them. Naumo, good morning.
Yes. Good morning.
Talk to us.
Nilikuwa nasema kwamba unampenda mwenye anakupenda.
Unampenda
someone that loves you, someone that loves you, ndio unampenda.
Kwa nini?
Kwa sababu ule akikupenda wewe na wewe umpendi. Lakini hiyo marriage haifai. Hainjani.
Hiyo sababu haimani.
At long run tawachana. Lakini mwenye anakupenda wewe huyo sasa ukimpenda yeye hiyo marriage ita stay. Kwa sababu mmeshakupendana.
Okay, and I would love you to jump onto that kwa sababu wewe uko from the other end whereby you're saying, as the man, I need to love you. It doesn't matter if you love me, I'll love you and then, tuta catch up, right? That's what you said. But he's saying, ukipenda hivyo, utakuja kuachwa tu eventually because now huyu akupendi. Yeye anasema mpende yule ambaye yeye anakupenda.
Yeah, I think sikusema it doesn't matter whether you love me back. I'm just saying, at least I must participate in saying, this is what I want and this is what I'm going for. Remember, a man would like to keep what he got. That's why, unaweza kuta in a season, if now the love didn't progress and grow, when you change, maybe you give birth, you change. If he didn't love you in its pure form, then there's a chance that he will start thinking, hey, maybe this is not what I got myself into. But most times you must get to at least show it first, but there's a law for reciprocity. Yeah, if you say they're not grateful for the little things or the big things that you do, of course ladies will tell you there's the little things that matter. Then if you do the little ones, they are like, what kind of man are you? People are buying
cars and you're buying flowers.
You're buying flowers and others are buying cars. This Nairobi has shown me things.
Let me tell you, a woman is very funny. You can buy a woman a chocolate, buy her a car. Depending on how she is, she will remember the chocolate and take a car as a responsibility for you as a man to buy for the wife.
Do we have a manual? Like, man, I feel like we need, a manual. The woman.
No. That is what I was saying earlier before we...
Let's get to listen to Christopher. Christopher, good morning.
Morning.
Talk to us, Christopher.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, good morning. I can hear you.
That's the issue in love. I think, to be fair, unajua wanaume naturally hata to the same day anaoa temptations huwa zinakuwa but it doesn't mean that the man does not love that woman.
Okay.
But for the ladies, I think in most cases, and I'm not being biased, hao ndio huwa wanaleta issues kwa marriage.
Unanipoteza.
They should understand this man. Because a man can look outside but love you.
So Christopher, what are you saying really?
Christopher, unasema, like it's like you're saying a man will love you, but they're allowed to look outside. If I
No, it's not that they are. I'm not saying that they are allowed to look outside.
But maybe nature.
But kuna kitu inaweza kusukuma mwanaume. Yeye anaweza kuwa desperate angalie nje.
Okay, tumempoteza Christopher. Nelly ulikuwa amekutrigger.
Ameleta a whole new topic and I'm triggered. Because he's saying even on the day that you marry, you can be tempted. You can look outside.
Yes.
In short, you can cheat. Because you're a man, it's okay, but you still love the person. I even wanted to turn and ask that, is this the case?
Let him answer that.
Like, I feel like it's a whole topic on its own.
You ladies, just do your job. Men are simple, basic. You deflect that guy's you do a good job, he won't look outside. So this just focus and we remember look outside because maybe you're sleeping on the job.
With men is a task. What do you mean you do your job?
Just do your job. We are very simple, basic. We just need to have one side full, the other side empty, and we are okay. Life goes on.
You will do all that.
I know.
It can be taken by a plate of food. Just go somewhere, serve some good food, and with humility, and he goes.
And why are you do you know why restaurants?
So you are not cooking.
No. Do you know why restaurants are thriving? Because the waitress worshipped you.
Ugandans, they even go on their knees, and I'm so sure Ugandan men still. So please.
Now, Kenya women, looks like you're not listening. We'll still have this conversation 10 years down the line. Yeah, men are best simple. A man, I want to come home. There are times they say, oh, peace of mind. Like it's not a real, it's a real thing to our world. I want to come home. I've had my world beaten up. I want to come home to peace.
And rest.
And so your expression of love is actually to accommodate, and accommodate me and allow me to thrive in that.
We'll go back to the polygamous conversation. We'll go back to that.
No, there's nothing like
Let's listen to Wambua. Wambua, good morning.
Good morning.
Tuongeleshe Wambua.
Niko kwenye mjini wenu. Na mjadala pale unaendelea.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. What's your take kwa mjadala ambao tunaongelea leo? Unamari yule ambaye anakupenda ama yule ambaye wewe unampenda, na kwa nini?
Ukipenda mwanamke ambaye ashakupenda.
Usijisikilize Wambua. Can you kindly mute your TV? Mute the TV so that tuelewane.
Okay, sasa unapenda mwenye ashakupenda. Ukimpenda yeye mkiwa katika maisha, mkishaingiliana katika maisha, yule ambaye anakupenda wewe utampenda automatically.
Yule ambaye anakupenda
akishaingia katika maisha yako na amekuonyesha ya kwamba amekupenda, wewe mwenyewe utampenda na utakuwa enda katika maisha yako, wewe mwenyewe utajiweka katika hiyo nafasi yake. Kwa hivyo mtakuwa mnatembea pamoja.
Kwa hiyo wewe
ni vizuri kuoa ambaye ama kuingiliana mtu ambaye anakupenda.
Alright, so for you prefer someone that loves you, and then mkiingia mtapendana tu kwa mbele.
Inamaanisha wewe mwenyewe kama wewe ni mwanaume alafu ukipenda mtu ambaye hakupendi, unamlazimisha mapenzi na naye atakusumbua baadaye. Maana yake hujui kama anaanza kubadilika.
There's that too, yeah. Okay.
So ni vizuri kupenda mwenyewe anakupenda yeye mwenyewe, kwa sababu wewe mwenyewe katika mwanaume huwa anahitaji mwanamke katika maisha yake. Kwa hivyo ukipenda mwenye anakupenda, wewe mwenyewe utaingiliana mwenyewe automatic.
Okay.
Na ile leo.
Asante sana.
There's a question I usually ask women in conference is like, you remember the wedding day? With that kind of angel that he was handed over. Okay? Now she has come into the home and this is her place. She relaxes completely. Now this guy goes to work and finds the kinds of Vivian. What she sees during the day, then he gets home and he finds a t-shirt with a big urute tano tena. So the kind of person that he got and what he finds, something different, it puts him off. So I think there's also the part of investment, as long as we grow. Can we just make sure, is he happy with what he sees? Because men have to see. There's something about sight with men. Me, I sell men's clothes. If you add 15 shirts, they could not buy because they were old. When buy 15, they come and see, they buy even the old ones. They need to see something new. There's something about newness in men, in their psychology. So you need just to make sure you progress. Yeah, you work on yourself because he needs to see. Am I talking the truth?
I like what you're saying. You're on my side, finally.
Allow me to read the messages that are coming in. Remember, we are also taking in your messages. You can send your WhatsApp message on 0716-103-301. We're taking the messages as well and the call-ins as well. So someone says, respect is the main reason for marriage. This is a man. He's saying respect is the main reason for marriage. It is a full package. There's love in it too. So for them, they just believe the woman that respects them. That is the woman they're picking. Another one is saying, okay, let's pick the call first, and then I'll get to continue with the messages. Good morning. John, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, talk to us. What's your take on this conversation?
I will go for the one that...
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
Yes.
Nilikuwa nisema heri moyo mwenye anakipenda.
Sikusikii vizuri. Okay, we've lost him. So there's another message here. Hello, good morning. I would like to have an advice from you people. I have been, okay, you said you've been waiting for this topic, but you didn't ask the question that you wanted. Okay, kuna mwanamume nimejaribu kumtoa in my life, but amekataa kuniondokea. Sijui nifanye nini.
Anakupenda.
Answer that one.
Huyu ndiye anafaa mguide, mwambie huyo ndio wakupenda.
Alright, somebody is saying, I will prefer someone who loves you because you may be engaged with a girl, but you are not the one who will marry her. I don't think I really got that. Wewe jamani unaleta topic tofauti. Wewe anasema men are naturally polygamous. We have refused. But it's a topic. It's a topic we got to talk about.
Let me tell you, the other day I told you this is a Cosmos platform. So don't refuse what you feel. Remember that we are people who are polygamous and they are also watching. So I usually say, even if I'm a pastor, we have the religions, okay? So give space for everyone. Don't tell them it's...
Something funny is I am for polygamy. I come from a family. My mother is from a polygamous family. My dad, my uncles are polygamous. Like if you choose to.
You've made peace.
yeah, if someone is okay.
Oh yeah, that's a topic for another day. Someone is saying, I would prefer to marry someone I love because I can't live with someone I don't love. And that's a lady. They've said they would prefer to marry someone that they love because
you wake up and love him.
Yeah, they don't see themselves living with someone who, you know. I'm Paul.
Nelly wants provision.
I'm Paul from Karieni, Meru. According to Ephesians 5:33, men are to love their wives, and wives are to respect their husbands. Me as a man, I feel loved when I'm respected.
Oh, okay.
All right.
It is automatic. It comes automatic.
Yeah. Someone says, love the person who loves you, period. Love the person who loves you.
I can just start.
But you know, when men stop loving, even you respect them, they see junk. You see? You know, they withdraw from that love. Let's talk about everyone, not just what we feel.
That is
a time comes that this man is just walking out of this love. Maybe, you know when a man draws attention to something else, they don't see what they were seeing, they see something different. So however much you try to respect, they see something different. They read, you write here, they see W, okay? Yes. You have 5 questions to answer, you better do.
No, I'm listening to you and I'm wondering.
No, you come in. There are too many. You say you are the man.
Maybe one thing to say, I agree with you that it's possible for a man to give you flowers today and divorce papers tomorrow. because also women have put us in a corner where we have to pretend, this is how I want you to treat me to show me that you love. I just think of it this way. There's a person who suffers in life because they forgot their wife's birthday once. Yeah.
All right, so the lady who had said she has a question for us has sent a message again. So I want you to listen to this, and then either of you can give her the advice.
Okay.
So kuna mwanaume nimejaribu kumtoa in my life but amekataa kuniondokea. Sijui nifanye nini. Huyu mwanaume hafanyi anything kwa nyumba yangu. Hata kununua a quarter sugar peke yake na akona shop inaingiza pesa. I pay my own rent. I do everything for myself. Hata nikiwa na matanga hawezi toa hata 50 bob.
Wow.
Whenever I tell him to move out of my house, anasema kama kuna makosa amenikosea nimsamehe, but he doesn't change at all. Na anasema ananipenda.
No, that's not a man. Is he a Kenyan? Is he a Kenyan?
Leave that man alone.
Why are you ruling out that he's not a man?
Leave that man alone.
No. That's a
Tell
good
that
man.
woman to run and not look back.
No.
Let her run.
Okay, let him answer.
Let that man enjoy. Let me say this.
Enjoy what?
Women, whatsoever you tolerate will persist. So right now, you are reaping what you've been... This is not the first time.
Yeah.
And it looks like this guy is a keeper. Keep that guy. Just renegotiate your contract.
That woman had agreed to keep that man, and that man now feels like he's entitled. But tell that woman, run.
No, don't run. This is a good man. The day he goes, you'll discover that protection is always available.
There's a man out there for you.
You're the one who is not appreciating. No, all men are the same. That is the one God gave you. Work it out.
What's her name?
But he has money.
I need to talk to her.
That he cannot
He's saving for future. He's building a castle for her.
That man is providing for someone
50
else.
bob. Why? Look at
anatumia
providing for someone.
bila yeye kuitisha. Go check his M-Pesa.
Wewe mwanaume, Mungu akubariki sana. Anza kuongelesha mke wako, muonyeshe ile future investment, unamjengea gorofa in future, usiharibu shilingi 50. Usiharibu bei simiti.
Okay, I'm sure you've had all of them. Run. You just make your choice.
But whatever you tolerate, will persist.
Yeah. But I love that. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Whatever you tolerate, you have accepted.
Yeah.
So it will persist.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a message here.
Batanga 50.
This one is saying, hello, it's Oswald. From my own perspective of view, I think love can work. But with that only, women take advantage of it, not to bring in support, but to take what we men, we are there for. They tend to fake love at some point, false images while hiding their true identity. True love, for me, I see is a scam. Let's just respect and bring peace in whichever way, just to chase purpose,
has been scammed.
not companionship.
We have an issue. Why do men have an issue if a woman wants provision? Men will literally choose a woman. They'll be like, this specific height, this color, this body shape. You know, a woman from this community. Like, men are the best choosers. They will go all the way to the toes. But if a woman says, I want a provider, it's always an issue. She wants my money, she wants my money.
No, but it's the women who say what a man can do, a woman can do.
Yes,
Let me give you data.
okay.
Let me give you statistics.
Let's take this call. Let's take this call. Good morning.
Morning.
Talk to us.
Yes, my take is a letter specifically for women. Women should make sure that they marry a man who loves them.
All right.
Period.
Okay.
Reason, when you look at the pages of the Bible, for an example, pick the case of Rachel and Leah. One was loved. This was Rachel. The other just walked in because she was the firstborn.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you, despite the many things that Leah did, for an example, she gave birth to children one after another, and the last one she said, I have given birth to this one so that then my husband will love me. And the husband never loved Leah.
Yeah.
He loved Rachel. And that was the bottom line. I think one of the things that girls need to understand is that men can do all the things they need, stamps up to love, but it isn't love. So it is critical for girls to make sure that they get married to a man who loves them.
All right. Thank you.
On the other side,
Yeah.
on the other side, for an example, for a man can love a girl who doesn't love him, because what girls says is love may really be things. This man may have married the girl without a car. Later in life, gets a car, and then the girl upgrades what she was thinking I did not love. I love this man because he has gotten this and gotten this. But a man will never love a person just because they are married.
Thank you.
And there was no foundation of love.
All right. Thank you so very much for your contribution. I believe that's a really good insight, right? It's a really good
A walking
insight.
marriage by a woman. You're walking.
You're walking. And as we said, a man knows when they know. So if they love you,
they know.
Uko safe. I would say uko safe. Because for me, love comes with emotional safety. I don't know if it is for every woman, but love comes with emotional safety. And I don't think you would be able to be at a place where you don't feel that safety. You know, yes, there's the financial safety and all that, but I feel like the emotional safety is really, really important.
But you know, the financial also can go away.
Yeah.
And along the, you can lose anything.
Yeah.
What I think, as progressively as we have spoken, is that in a man there is a king ruling and a boy playing. So make sure you look at him, make sure he is ruling, and also allow him to play, so that this will remain. Otherwise, it progressively you may lose as you grow, because if you don't have cars and they increase, women they have a problem. Men, I mean, have a problem when increase comes. They feel another woman should help to eat this money. Am I true?
Yeah. Many women have told us, you're not my level. So when the level comes, and you're looking at the, men can access based on their bank balance. It's possible.
But how are you being with someone who's already told you you're not my level? See, then you just
That's what I'm saying. I'm justifying the fact that then when that level comes, they can access that level, which again talks about the fundamentals in which our relation should be. Data shows us, I think some years back, 84% of women had their mother or sister as their next of kin. 94% of men had their wives as the next of kin. Because silently women know or feel like we will die before them, or something like that. So because of that, then the love dynamics. No, it is true.
Not even their daughter.
Let's go to the HR records.
It's about children. Because once I've died, you've gone, you've married someone else. There's no one to take care of my kids. At least my mother, I'm sure my kids will be taken care of. And you're living, your next of kin is your wife, because your wife has your children. Who will take care of your children? Your wife.
It could also mean, statistically, that you're not taking good care of us so that we die early. Because if you really want us to be
that's a whole other conversation. Allow me to read some of the comments that are coming in. Someone said, morning, I am Lewis. So far, I'll go for the one I love. She respects me and respects me back. I'd prioritize respect over love, because where there is no love without respect, people need to understand the difference between fear and respect. For instance, if you beat a lady, they will fear you. They'll not respect you. Men generally feel loved and respected. Bottom line, you respect those who love you. There is always love behind respect. Mind you, I'm just 19 years.
Oh my God. You should focus on physics. Leave this.
Okay, another
There are people at 19, they are married.
is saying 3/4 of the population are women and ladies, right? So lazima muwatunze hawa wanaume vizuri, or else mubaki bila mabwana. That's someone's perspective.
Anaweza namba ya M-Pesa.
Another one here is saying, thanks for the program. Respect to me is all I need as a man. With respect, any reasonable man will do anything for a woman. That is Eric from Kakamega.
You're not hearing from the ladies.
I don't know why the ladies are quite quiet today. You know, even the ones calling in.
Mostly.
No, the messages we have from ladies, yes, but the men are speaking more on this. Yeah.
I saw one man here, so they are trying to help you.
Yeah, they really. Oh, yeah, maybe.
There was an outbreak of ladies on the panel.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, we
Wanna
should be
support, wanna
finishing.
support.
I need to get your last remarks. We have around 3 minutes, so each person.
Okay.
Let me start with you, Pal. Your final remarks.
I would say that love is progressive. Whether in dating or in getting into marriage, invest and see what does this person like. Just make sure he sees what he likes and invest in that love. Also, look at your goals. Pursue your goals and make sure you achieve what you are meant to become.
Okay. So according to the topic today, first of all, love is not everything. Other things should align. Like you guys should have common purpose, vision, goals, all that should align. Then love is just one aspect.
Yeah.
But always, as women, I want them to choose a man who loves them. A man who loves you will provide for you, will care for you, will take care of you. You know, as women, when you're in a marriage, you've put yourself in a position where you can have children. So we really do value security and consistency. So always choose a man that loves you.
Okay, done.
Yeah, there's a gentleman who is a musician who sang, I think it's called Otile, who said, those you love may not necessarily love you back, and those who love you, you may not look at them twice. And so I think love is complex but it comes in different seasons. And I think working at it, building friendships, building capacity for the next level, building scenarios as you date and all that will help you navigate those seasons. Even whichever angle it is, whether you love them, you can win them over through love, or whether they're the ones who love you, you can be available to be reciprocate or receive the love that they give to you. Yeah.
All right, thank you so very much. And this is where we get to end our conversation. And as we end it, I want to mention this song. It's called It's a Man's World. And the lyrics say that this is a man's world, but it would be nothing without a woman to care.
Imagine.
So a man is meant to love the woman. Even the Bible says it. This is how we end this conversation. Thank you so very much to each and every one of you who has been tuning in. See you next time. Bye-bye.